All right, everybody, welcome to the Mana Trader series featuring Modern for the top 8. I'm Corey Baumeister. That's Brad Nelson.
That is Brad Nelson.
And we are going to be bringing you all the action today. And we got a nice little top 8 ahead of us. Players are playing for $3,000 up top. They're playing for that invitation to that December tournament for the top 2 players. A lot on the line, you know? I mean, players are going to already get $500 USD here for just 8th place, but I mean, that's a huge increase getting to the final spot.
Yeah, that is if they have a Mana Traders account.
That's true. If you're playing in this tournament and you don't have a Mana Traders account, you're probably messing up because your prizes go through the roof. You could win this tournament and get $400 if you're not a Mana Traders subscriber. You get $3,000. Be a Mana Traders subscriber. Come on.
Yes, and use our code at !BASHBROS in the chat to find our new code that'll give you 50% off your first 2 months. The best code in the biz now.
In the land. Absolutely. So we have whittled our players down from an 8-round tournament, 230 players, I believe, all the way down to 8 players. Had to be 6-2 to make it in, and only 2 players at 6-2 snuck in. Even one of our buddies snuck in at exactly 8th place, Anderson Claire. So pretty impressive stuff here. So we're going to go over all the deck lists. Then we're going to show you the bracket of the matchup that we're going to be watching right away. And we're just going to get right into it. Now, we are going to be just watching one match, and then if people are still playing, we're going to jump into those matches as they go. We're not going to be stopping everything, making the players wait, you know, and trying to catch all the action. We really don't like to disrupt the tournament here. We want our players to continually feel like they're in a flow for a proper tournament.
Yeah, so that
we're going to bring in the most we can.
Yeah, and so that means that we will guarantee have 3 full matches to watch and any extras if we get the time. So we did pick a matchup that's going to be sweet and potentially one of the quicker ones. Modern's not that fast these days anymore. Some matchups are a blink, but others are a little slower. So
no, 3 matches are blink.
Three
matches are Yorian Blink. So
3 matches in the top 8 are blink, and we're bringing the one that isn't.
Yeah, exactly. I have just a feeling that those 3 4-color good stuff, 4-color money pile, 4-color blink, we're going to make sure Adrian puts that full in, you know, all those names combined into one thing.
We're not doing this again
today. Oh, we're not doing that again today.
We're not doing this today. No. We're not doing that. But no, we are going to be bringing you a really cool matchup between the Rakdos mid-range deck we talked about yesterday. We watched a little bit in action, as well as
sorry to interrupt you about that. That Rakdos mid-range player tweeted out their deck list afterwards and just said, "This deck embodies me." He's like, I put a lot of changes into it that really scream out me and the cards I love. So
I told you.
Yeah, it was.
I told you. Yeah. People that play mid-range decks in a format like this, they do it for the love of the game.
The love of the mid-range. Yes. The Tarmogoyfs. You know, the Lilianos. But yeah, continue. What are they going to be playing against?
They're going to be playing against the one Azurius Hammer player that we also did feature a couple times yesterday. And to me, I love matchups like this. These are my most fun, where you're playing a removal-centric strategy against the linear, try to pivot around the infect, the Azurius Hammer type, trying to pivot around all the removal, all the hand disruption. It's a lot of grinding, a lot of mind games, and honestly, it comes down to these very weird sequences that these decks are usually not trying to accomplish.
Totally agree with you. Instead of just having us tell you what these decks are like, let's take a look at all the decks, starting with the first place player here, Adrian. We're gonna give you a quick summary of all these decks, starting off with the best deck in the field. The only player to rack up the only player that was undefeated. This player 8-0'd the Swiss. Just straight got it done. No draws, anything like that in the Mana Trader series. So this is your Grixis Death Shadow Ledger Shredder iteration.
We're not doing that. Yes, this is Grixis Death Shadow now with Ledger Shredders. Yeah. We watched, I believe, the Toscani twice during the...
Yeah, I believe we did. I know one against Anderson where Toscani kind of gave Anderson the beatdown. Like there was...
Toscanini.
Toscanini. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I may have butchered that the whole time. Yeah, me and Brad are not necessarily known for knowing every card name perfectly or, you know, player name at that. But we try.
We attempt.
Yeah, we are good triers. So this is going to be the matchup against Anderson. That's going to be a rematch from, I believe, round 6. So, you know, our player here, our Death Shadow hero, has already taken this one down. So let's take a look at our second place player. This is Claudio.
From chat, it seemed like a fan favorite.
Yes, yes. Claudio is a huge Magic Online grinder, really known for his prowess with Niv Mizzet strategies and Pioneer. He, well, has been pioneering that, needless to say, for a long time, but switched over to a deck that kind of had a similar vibe here. This is the boogeyman of the format. You're really trying to, accomplish these very powerful planeswalkers, Ren, Teferi, Omnath as your big pillars. And then also this one just has the main deck Emrakul to be able to kind of go way over the top. So your standard kind of 4-color blink, Brad.
Yeah, I was a big fan of not only the deck list, but the way that Claudio played the archetype. Felt like they just really understood the strategy, had a lot of card choices that were different from others, but made a lot of sense in the games that were played. So I'm really excited. This is my pick to take the whole tournament down.
Okay. Perfect. And honestly, I will totally say I think all the players played great.
Obviously.
We're not trying to throw shade on anyone or anything, but I will say out of all the games we've watched, I thought Claudio played the best yesterday. From the on-camera matches.
Was locked in.
Yeah, really impressed us. So let's take a look at our third place player. Now, this is the Rakdos mid-range deck that we are going to be seeing here for our first feature match. Bro, tell me a little bit about this spicy deck list.
Well, first of all, it's perfect.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes. It's a masterpiece.
There's nothing I would change because this embodies the love of mid-range. Look at all these cards that are completely underpowered relative to everything else people are playing.
Exactly.
But yet still together dominate games because that's what mid-range does.
Totally true. And I want to bring one little emphasis to that middle card here. Unlicensed Hearst, a 3 of in the main deck. Really interesting because not only are you thought seizing your opponent, inquisitioning them so you fill up your opponent's graveyard, but you usually have plenty of cards going to your graveyard with Fable the Mirror Breaker and Seasoned Pyromancer that you can just get this thing gigantic. Now, with the top 8 match up against the old Hammer Time, not really going to be a great Hearst deck, I will say.
No, this is going to be one of those cards that you're going to take out, but that's fine because you've got 3 engineered explosives, 1 terminate, 1 Kolaghan's commands, and I mean, honestly, Blood Moon's not that bad in a matchup like this. Turok's also not that bad because you can just kind of become this. I'm going to deplete you of all your resources. When I used to play Jund,
give me Chalice all day in that too.
Chalice is a little more difficult because you also have a bunch of 1 mana removal and interactive spells.
Yeah, that's true.
And the way that this deck looks like it can pivot in a matchup, especially the one we're going to be watching, is you become the control deck. And Unlicensed Hearst, you don't need to beat down. You don't need that aggression.
Yeah.
But it's a great add to a deck that doesn't want to splash green for that Tarmogoyf because that thing will kill them really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I totally agree with you. You forgot about splashing blue for blue Tarmogoyf, though. Ledger Shredder. That's the next level stuff right there.
Oh, you sweet summer child. No. You got to hit them hard with no card advantage. That's mid-range.
Okay, all right. I screwed that one up. I'll take it back. Let's take a look at that next deck here. Taking a look at Elementals. This is the only Risen Reef that made the top 8. This is a deck that's pretty near and dear to my heart. This is the style of deck that I played for a very long time, having that one of Endurance, having that one of Titania, and then just playing a bunch of Eladamri's Calls to be able to, really go over the top. This is a deck that's kind of been falling out of favor a bit because these expressive iteration Ragavan versions of 4-color Blink been a little bit more popular, and even these 4-color blink decks that are featuring Delirium have actually been the next level way to beat these decks. A deck list we're going to see a little bit later here. So let's take a look at the next one. This is going to be Yawgmoth, our only Yawg player. Brad, I'm going to leave you with the good old go garbage deck, as we like to call it.
All right. Well, this is a go garbage deck with a great combo finish. One of the things that I've liked about this strategy in this format is when there's a lot of mid-range and soupy piles that are playing an arms race, a deck like this can really excel because it has a combo finish. It has a lot of resilient threats and card advantage built into it. So
yeah,
this is the slayer of all of these 4-color blink decks. They're close matches, but they are behind.
Cool. Yep, totally agree with you. Let's get on to the next one here. Looks like players are going to be paired, so we're going to get some stuff going. This is going to be the first other deck that we're going to be seeing today. This is Hammer Time. We saw this player win our final win in against Amulet, peeling off that Colossus Hammer off the top. That was a nice little moment. If you didn't get to see that live, go watch the VOD or a YouTube video that we'll be posting a little bit later because it was a special one.
It was a good one. It was exciting.
pretty standard Hammer Time stuff here, though. So let's get on to these last two decks. And then we're going to show you the bracket real quick. Here is another Is It or our only Is It Murktide deck. This was the most played archetype, bro.
Yeah, but as I said, I expected this to be the most played, but underrepresented.
Yep.
And we only see one in the top 8 in 7, sneaking in with the next 2 finish.
Yeah.
And that's just where this format's going. It Whenever a deck gets to the top of the mountain, it pushes so many things down to where now the metagame's all hateful decks.
Exactly. And it never has an insane win rate, too,
No.
which is kind of crazy. So let's look at that final deck. Let's look at that final one here from Anderson, our buddy here. This is the Delirium version, a really cool deck here where you don't play any Elodomri's Call, but you play kind of the cheaper Elodomri's Call, where you're playing Traverse, the Ovenwald, and a bunch of baubles and Dress Down as extra types. This is meant to be the mirror breaker. So Anderson really, really, really wants to get through this Death Shadow matchup and then, run into some of these blink decks and kind of take advantage of that additional Emrakul in the main. So that's our top 8 list. Now let's take a look at the bracket and what these players have to do to make it to the finals. So, yep, you see our bracket right here. We're going to be taking a look at the very bottom of the bracket with Happy Sandwich. God, gotta love that. I mean, how can you not be happy with a happy sandwich? So, all right, y'all, with no further ado, let's watch our quarterfinals here of the Mana Trader series featuring Modern.
Intense music.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so we've got Azorius on the play with one of the weakest starts you possibly can have in a
Yes.
Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear is not the card you ever want to draw in a matchup that is trying to rip your hand apart and kill all your things.
Yes, exactly. And to be fair, even in a matchup where you do really want it, you still don't want to draw it. You want it in your deck for Urza Saga to bring out the proper moment. So yeah. But I will say one thing about we don't know Happy Sandwiches keep quite yet. We're gonna get these hand cams up and ready for you. But at this point, I just keep anything.
Yeah.
I keep almost any hand that functions because up against a 7 hand disruption deck, like you can't really be messing around.
Yeah, so this is a tough decision. Here I would probably not be playing the pure. Yep, I would be doing exactly this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play this, sculpt my hand a little bit, and play the pure steel the next turn when I can also cast a hammer so I can get that card advantage. That's always going to be the most important.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree with you.
Mhm. All right, so now we've got Rakdos on their second turn. This is where they can play a Ragavan and hold up a Fatal Push if they so choose, or get that Croxa down.
Yeah, what do you do here, bro? That's kind of interesting.
Well, so I'm kind of in the spot where you don't know if there's going to be a creature. You only have one removal, so you don't know if you're going to want to use it next turn. They just put a reality chip in their hand.
Yep.
So what are they doing? But I still think getting that Ragavan down and potentially just starting to generate a little bit of value has a much. Oh, they're just going to dash it. I almost think I want to play it like the Mem Knights are kind of gone, so the Ragavan is going to trade with a value creature at this point.
Oh yeah, this list didn't have Mem Knight, did it?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that kind of just has moved away from the deck.
Yeah, that makes sense. And everyone would always say, you got to take out Regavans. They have Mem Knights. And I was always on the camp, be like, are you kidding me? Like, first of all, they take out Mem Knights in most matchups. And second of all, if you ever just go Ragavan and you just get to kill a creature and then attack, it was always so good. On the draw, it was defensible. But...
Wow, so they played the chip before the pure steel. They want to get that going next turn.
And it's harder to kill, I guess. I mean, you can still Fatal Push it, but you can't bolt it.
Okay. And I'm going to disagree with you though on your argument there. When I played Jund, now keep in mind this was Luris and it was a 4/3 color deck.
Okay.
I always said when I played against Hammer Time, I turned into a Luris control deck. I took every DRC out, every Ragavan out. I went down to only Tarmogoyfs and a Luris as win conditions.
Okay.
And then I just went to every hand disruption, every removal spell, every way to control the game, and eventually would just kill with Sagas and Tarmogoyfs. And so I think that that's the way that at least that deck could operate in a matchup like this. And because even if Mem Knight is coming out, there's still so many annoying things that outclass a Ragavan.
I honestly, I'm gonna agree and disagree with you here. Oddly enough, like
Obviously.
I totally agree. You want to turn into the complete control deck, but that's like the only creature I want to keep because you play that on turn one, and then you just kill, 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 and you're ramping with Ragavan, and you're also getting value off their deck because they're a cheaper converted mana cost deck. You don't have a lot of great hits, but
You clearly have not played a mid-range deck because those dream scenarios don't things often go wrong when you're playing Jund. And oftentimes they have a bunch of creatures and now you have an invalid little monkey sitting there and you're losing to an Urza Saga.
That's fair. Maybe just all the decks I play, all the bad decisions I make in sideboarding, I can just ledger shredder them away, or like, I have too many cards towards the end. I don't need the Ragavan,
You're doing what every Magic player should do.
Okay.
That is build decks that have bad play resiliency in them because they're so good.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. This is a real thing.
So true. So true.
Playing decks that can win through mistakes is how we are super successful. Now, you could be Apollo and just never make mistakes. But he still does. But he always still plays the best deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Always plays the best deck and always plays it at a very high efficiency. That's for sure. So. All right, we see Seasoned Pyromancer discarding the monkey, sad panda. All right. But also discarding a Croxa, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and now we're getting close. We got 2 lightning bolts away from a Croxa coming in. And this next turn, I mean, it feels like you got to play that Pure Steel. You got to start getting some card advantage.
Yeah, because, I mean, look what you can do right now. You can go end step, kill this Giver, probably when they make a construct. And then you can lightning bolt something else next turn. Boom, bring back Croxa. And you even have a mana left over. Now, that is kind of giving away a lot of your lightning bolts, but I think step one is you have to kill Giver right now. Like,
no reason to be able to just then give the construct
protection. Because, I mean, what if they have the last 2 cards in their hand are Sigarda's Aid, Hammer, and they draw a hammer, or they get a hammer off Saga, and you get to give it protection. I mean, it's a weird scenario where that happens.
It's just happening. It's literally happening right now.
Yeah.
If they allow for the next turn, they could give that pro red and get a hammer on it.
Exactly.
And then they could lightning bolt, but
yeah, Giver's no mother, that's for sure, but it is still a problem if it untaps. It's still a must-kill threat most of the time.
All right, Stonefort Mitch is a great draw. What are we going to see? Probably just letting it go with the float because there's a lot of things that can happen this next turn.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like against this Rakdos mid-range deck, I'm usually in the camp that I just want to maximize my cards. Like I think if you're Happy Sandwich, you think right now, can I kill my opponent? And the answer is no. So like I would honestly be inclined to just like maybe even think about activating and getting a construct here, go and get a drum, play a Stoneforge. Like that seems decent. You get your creatures a little bit bigger and you're not forcing out, like Paladin into Hammer. But I guess Paladin into Hammer is pretty insane if they don't have a removal spell. So I don't know. There's a lot of different lines you could do here, bro.
I mean, so I know what I'm doing right now.
What would you do?
I am just tapping this mana, going and getting a hammer.
Okay.
Then I am playing Pure Steel Paladin and equipping the hammer in play to the construct. And then if they don't lightning bolt anything, playing the second hammer and drawing a card.
Okay, you would value equipping before you would value getting the extra card off Colossus Hammer?
Yes, because then you just end up with 2 artifacts in play that aren't like effectively getting the equip or getting the card in hand.
Sorry to interrupt you, bro, but listen, look at this could be a absolute train wreck unfolding here. You're kind of tempted to kill that construct on a stack, and then you don't have Metalcraft. But that second hammer would play, you draw a card and get a 22-22, 23-23 lifelink.
And that's exactly it. If they don't kill the construct, then you're going to have this giant lifelinking trampler. And if they do, you have a giant lifelinking trampler. So that's why I value equipping.
So you got to kill it now, though, right? Otherwise,
you have to kill one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, hindsight right now, I think you have to kill the Paladin. But, like, even that, like, it's so bad.
No, it looks like, they have to kill that because, and now
you can't attack at least, but... Oh, boy, this is bad news bears for a Rakdos mid-range player for sure.
This is what we like to call in the business, going tall.
Going tall, yeah. Yeah, this Pure Steel Paladin wore the pants to work today, that's for sure. suiting up here, making a gigantic 23-23 trample lifelinker. But, this is all invalidated if there's a fatal push on top. Like fatal push here is insane.
How many fatal pushes are in the deck list?
Great minds think alike. I was just about to do that. I don't think there was as many fatal pushes as there was lightning bolt.
There's Liliana to drop. Fable is not it.
Yeah, Fable's not great. Yeah, is this just over?
Well, yeah, because the Stoneforge can make another Colossus Hammer.
I think I would do that, bro.
I think giving it +10.
Yeah, I think going to a 33-33 is going to be pretty good here. And this looks like a happy sandwich is going to be a happy game one gamer.
Yeah, I liked the way that they played that last turn. They did tweet earlier or later last night that they were very happy with how they played the entire day, and they found themselves in the top 8, where this was a very popular strategy, but they're the only one in the top 8 with it.
Yeah.
And this game, I feel like they played every turn the way I would have played. Well, I liked their reality chip turn. I wouldn't have played it that way, but I think it was better now in retrospect. So
yeah.
I think they made a very good lines, and it's going to all pay off.
Yeah, and honestly, the one match that we saw them play, that winning in, they really maximized their chances at decking, a really strong card, drew to their outs, top decked that hammer, and sent themselves into the top 8. So, they played that great as well.
All right, well, let's take a look at this Rakdos deck. Now behind, let's throw this up so we can actually see how they're going to sideboard. Now, I'm going to take a shot in the dark and let's see if it plays out.
Okay.
All right, so I want to take out the hearse for sure.
Yeah.
And those will fit the engineered explosives, but I still want the Terminate, the Kolaghan's Command, potentially the Collective Brutalities, and the Turok. Probably not the Brutalities because
I wouldn't bring in either of those.
They're so linear. Well, the thing about a Turok is that, like I said, I don't have a feeling that I want Ragaman in my deck. I like the idea of sequencing where I disrupt them a little bit, I do some stuff, and then I hit them where I can actually hurt them. And just taking 2 cards out of their hand is a way to do that. If you see how these games play out.
But it's instant and sorcery, isn't it?
Turok?
No, Collective Brutality.
No. That's a card that's optional just for a removal spell.
Oh, okay. You're talking if you Turok and kick.
I'm talking about bringing Turoks in general.
Okay. I mean, it is pro white. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also just a strong way to, if you've 1-for-1'd your opponent a few times, usually the last 2 or many of the last cards they'll have in their hand are their card advantage ways to generate value.
Yep.
And that is there and can potentially get those.
Sure. I think what I'm doing here, I'm going to sideboard a lot different. I'm going to bring in Chalices. I'm bringing in Blood Moon for Saga. And
Blood Moon is also fun.
Yeah. Blood Moon's great. I'm bringing in Chalices on the play. I'm not bringing them in on the draw. And I'm going to cut Thoughtseizes. I'm going to cut Hearses. I might cut 1 Inquisition and then trim off the top on Croxa. You don't need all of those Croxas against them. But honestly, we got 2 very different, styles here. Let's see what the Rakdos player themselves.
There is 0% I'd take a hand disruption out of my deck. 0%.
Really?
0%.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe they
looks like
agree.
You're right. Yeah. All right, you're winning so far today, bro. You're winning so far.
Absolutely no chance I'm taking a thought.
Sure. I can see it.
Yeah, this can break up their combos. This can leave them with bad draws, as you see. We can take Sigarda's Aid or the Stoneforge Mystic and leave them without things to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we take Sigarda's Aid here and still have a decent hand. Ooh, Giver off the top is going to give a nice little play here.
Yeah, but
got the Lightning Bolt. So actually that, we're kind of happy about that from a Rakdos player.
Yeah, so what we're going to be looking for Rakdos is to be able to play a Liliana and edict a creature the turn it comes into play. So, and then hopefully empty our hand the turn after and start actually ticking up for value.
Agreed. Also want to give a huge shout out to X-Whale for taking down the Mox. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, how awesome is that? Yeah.
I bet that's got to feel good.
That would feel pretty good, Brad. I think you win, 20K? I think you qualify for PT1. Yeah. Mox is probably the hardest way to get to PT1. So huge congrats to the NRG All-Star that is now just a professional Magic All-Star. So big congrats to you and welcome to the show.
Hell yeah, that's super impressive. Almost as impressive as this engineered explosives going to be.
Oh God! All right, at least there's one thing we can agree on, bro. Those explosives were coming in.
Oh yeah. The explosives were coming in. The last thing I'll say about the Mox is I took 3rd in one of them.
Oh, you made it to one of the final ones.
Yeah, in 2010 or something. These were when they were on like location and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
these were like 1 year things.
I mean, we were reminiscing a little bit today about how long we've been playing and how long we've been in the industry and stuff. And believe it or not, I'm gonna forget some of your results because you've won a lot of things.
Oh, I forgot some of my results.
Yeah. All right, Liliana coming down here to clean up that Culture Complete. Maybe not the best card, but Sanctifier and Vec
Well,
up the
but
top.
that's not what I mean. We got Lily.
I mean, we got no Croxes in the yard now. That's a big thing.
I understand we're gonna lose our graveyard.
Yeah,
but we can Lily and we can rebuild.
that's true. This was the best opportune time for Sanctifier to come off because, believe it or not, a pro black, pro red creature that completely strips your graveyard is pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, and we get that Fable to build up, so that's a great top deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, I mean, we might still see what? No, I guess we won't see a Croxa next turn. Well, maybe 2 cards in the graveyard. That's 4.
Draw fetch land.
Can draw fetch land. Can Liliana?
Yeah, it can happen with a fetch land. Just a fetch land. That's all you need.
All right, let's see what non-relevant artifact Urza Saga is going to go find now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the best one would just be an Ornithopter. Just a creature. Yeah.
Oh,
any creature.
Yeah.
Any creature that can be sacked to Liliana so you don't lose your construct at least.
Well, this also can ping it down to 1.
Oh, that's a very good point too. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Ginger Brute's kind of insane in this deck. Like a lot of people cut it. And I'm sure our expert here, X Whale, played a lot of Hammer and will probably give us a good detailed explanation why Ginger Brute's in there, but or why it was taken out, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good in a lot of situations that we've seen throughout the weekend.
All right, so now we're gonna see some pitches. Oh, the Regavans are still there too.
Are they? Oh God.
I am not. I am saddened. This is not.
I like that.
This is not the mid-range life.
Yeah, we know Will Kruger was definitely a champ of Azorius Hammer. Played a lot in the NRG series.
Yeah.
And dominated with it.
All right, so we're probably going to see a lightning bolt. Yeah, take down that Karnstruck.
Okay.
This attack.
And then that fetch line brings back Croxa.
And the fetch line does bring it back this turn.
These have been really close games.
Yeah.
Real close.
Very close.
Yeah.
Both sides have fought hard both times.
Honestly, this is, I make some YouTube content every once in a while, maybe not as consistently as some other players, but this is a deck I'm going to immediately make a video with. This Rakdos deck is awesome. It's straight up my alley. You know me, I love Croxa far too much.
Oh, yeah. So now we're looking at this side of the board. What do we got? We've got a relic that we can bring in.
Definitely the Sanctifiers.
The Sanctifiers for sure came in.
Yeah. Outside of that, Hammer Time is one of those decks that you really don't want to change too much because you really take away from the core of the deck. But you probably don't really care about Spell Pierce either. That would be one card that I would probably take out. And then I don't know, maybe you take out the Shaper Gift. You definitely played a lot more Hammer in your day than me. This was one of the S tier decks, along with Grixis Shadow when Luris was in there.
Yeah.
But I didn't play a ton of it.
Yeah, so the cards that I don't value much in matchups like this are Spell Pierce and Shadow Spear.
Okay.
It's just, you're never going to find a spot where you're like, I really need this +1/+1 in life. Like, now, of course they come up, but they're not going to come up in a lot of games.
I totally disagree. 4-season Pyromancers making tokens, I think you need to trample over. That's a lot of token. That's a lot of chump blockers. If you're attacking for 11/11.
But the problem is you're going to create scenarios, like hypothetical scenarios that could come up where it is relevant.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it's something that's just like not going to have a lot of value as a tutor target or a card that you draw.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think I'd rather take out drums, because drums, if you take the creature, you thought he's a creature, and you have two drums without creatures, that seems way worse than having one silver bullet of the Shadow Sphere.
Or you just dump your old hand. Yeah.
There you go.
They agreed with the Shadow Spear, but
they didn't agree with the Spell Pierce. Well, maybe we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. All right, Pithy Needle. Oh,
I'm gonna guess engineered explosives.
Please, yeah, it's gonna be engineered explosives. But I was like, please, Bloodstained Mire.
Please, Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, you got to get rid of EE.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna Thoughtseize away just nothing.
Yeah.
Just 2 nothings.
Yep. See, that's why you leave Shadow Sphere, and it's an auto take from a Thoughtseize when your other card is Spell Pierce. Honestly, though, there is a consideration to Spell Pierce just with Fable into Fable. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Fable is what you really want to cast, but yeah.
And you can do so with that Bloodstained Mire and Plains.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, right.
All right, another blue card drawn without it, and that is a testament. You do have a little bit of blue in your deck. You probably do want to keep your drums in.
Yeah, yep, that's probably pretty true as well. But I mean, honestly, this hand is completely fine from Happy Sandwich. The old play a planes, make a construct, tutor up something. When EE is not a possibility, when dress down is not a possibility, some of these ridiculous cards against sagas, this is still good. This is kind of how you beat these mid-range decks that are just going kill, 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 kill. If your land is bringing up 3 pieces of material, your land, you know, that's tough to fight against.
Yes, Saga. Everyone was pretty upset about Saga when it first came out. They thought it was a little too powerful.
Yeah.
But the reality is, decks that like Urza Saga, at least the value from it, really only pressure mid range decks, which is a good check against mid range. And there are answers to it. Whereas we're seeing, it's not the most valuable card against 4-color, right? The other side of the strategy is much more valuable. Them sitting here and making a token for a few turns, are like, Omnath can go way over the top of that.
Nope. Honestly, that's one of my favorite cards for my set. So from your time at Wizards, I'm sure this is one of your favorite cards.
During my time at Wizards.
There we go.
No, actually, Aaron Forsyth was like designing it and showed it to me. And it was like the second or third week to where I felt more comfortable saying this.
Sure.
But I said, I'm not going to read that card. I'm going to continue working on my stuff. I'm not going to work on a Saga land.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
I'm going to work on other stuff.
Give that to some of the other players. Give that to BVD.
I'm going to go make Murktide so I could just make everyone mad.
I'm going to go make Blue Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. I mean, it was Blue Tombstalker. That's the pitch for it.
That is a good pitch. Yeah, absolutely. So we see another Saga here come down, picking up one of those drums and a blacksmith skill coming down. That has got to be a big draw against Rakdos.
Yeah, a way to protect, especially with that Springleaf drum being able to use it. Now we've got blue up for the next turn. This is going to be a very tough game, and I think that we're going to see a Happy Sandwich taking a quick run to the sandwich shop before their semifinals match.
Yeah, no kidding. A Happy Sandwich is going to be a happy player at this point.
And that Pithy Needle was huge.
It was. And that's a tutor target for sure. Like, I don't have the list
completely
pulled up, but I know it's a one of, right? Like, the Urza Saga one of Pithing Needle I loved so much, especially right when Urza Saga came out. You know, people just wouldn't crack their fetch lands when Chapter 3 was on the stack so many times. It'd be like, okay, 1 mana Stone Rain. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, I love doing that a few times.
Yeah. I was like,
you get those real chump checks in the leagues.
Oh,
like, you are not paying attention today.
Exactly.
All right, so we are going to see protection right there.
Okay.
And because it has to tap, that does allow the goblin to get in for a treasure.
Yep, gets the goblin to get in for a treasure. And I believe those are 4/4s. So a nice little play you can do here is terminate one of them, attack, use that mana, lightning bolt the other one. Well, you got the chance. I would think you've got to kind of snap that off with a handful of 2 terminates, lightning bolt, and 3 drops that incentivize your hand being empty. At least he's a pyromancer for that regard.
And they agree because they still know about that Spell Pierce.
Yep. The Spell Pierce and the Plains are still open knowledge to a Rakdos player. The reality chip is unknown knowledge. But with the way it stands, you know, you can lightning bolt this right now to cut off the drum a little bit. But Happy Sandwich still has a pretty nice turn of just make a construct, play a plains, tap it, put a reality chip into play if you want. Or you can hold up.
Direction.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, now they can just make a construct and a Cigar to Aid and then reality chip it next turn.
Yeah, Cigar to Aid, say go.
Yeah.
Make a construct, then you can Spell Pierce with that construct as well with a spell on the stack. Like, ooh, and Reality Chip does some dirty things. That's probably my favorite card that I tried to make work in a card I know we both love in an Urza deck. And oh my God, when you get to play that, equip it and tap it for mana and start peeling stuff off the top, that was my heaven. Deck. Oh yeah, that was my heaven. Yeah. Why did they take Mox Opal and Astrolabe from us? They were so young.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
I think
same with Faithless Looting. Yeah,
and Oko. I mean, honestly, those were cards that fit into my Urza deck well. They were happier times. Just kidding. They were terrible times. Yeah. That deck was far too good.
I did play it at the Invitational in 2019, and I thought it was kind of fair because I played a bunch of mirrors.
Yeah. Everything was 50-50.
It felt very fair. It was the first
Oh,
tournament. I didn't play it
nice.
before that weekend because I was just there to hang out. Never played it before. I
Yeah.
built it and played it, and it seemed like a very fair deck.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every other deck had the same busted things, and every other deck that didn't play those busted things was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Chalice for 1 against a deck that was very relevant with, and an Uro and an Oko by turn 3. I thought it was like things were going well.
That seems pretty legit to me.
Yeah.
Pretty fair. Yeah. A pretty big dagger here that oh no, I guess you do have the land. Okay, the opposite of a dagger here. You know, you can attack with this shaman and it's gonna connect. Well, it might not, Happy Sandwich might try to do something about it, but if you make a construct, you can terminate it, and then you can pay for spell pierce if need be with that treasure, and then just play Den, say go, and then next turn you have, you know, Seasoned Pyromancer with Reflection combo going. And honestly, that's going to be a big problem for Happy Sandwich with that Shadow Sphere in the yard. Not a problem with Shadow Sphere in play, but over and over, like you need that flyer now. You need Ink Moth to be able to fly over those tokens. Otherwise, that's too many tokens to attack through without trample.
Well, we might see both decks until Rakdos would have to draw removal, which they can with Seasoned Pyromancer loops.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just going for that play.
Interesting. Seasoned Pyromancer, pretty spicy card.
That Thoughtseize is huge, and they're not gonna be able to cast it unless they throw it away. Yeah, this is bad because
I didn't like that line.
Yeah, that's this. They know that the spell pierce is there. I guess they don't know the reality chip is there, and this reality chip is going to do a ton of dirty damage.
And to be fair, reality chip would have still done some work with with just this next construct that you probably want to make. But now at this point, like you can get hammer, you can strap this up, and you can play Ink Moth. God, you really wish you had that Ink Moth in play already, though. Holy cow!
Yeah, you really do, because the game would be over.
That would help.
Yeah. I do understand. There's value in killing your opponent.
Even if for whatever reason you could play Ink Moth and it'd be summoning sick this turn, you would. Wait, no, I guess it would still fall off. You know what, Brad? You got anything to say?
Oh man. Oh, gonna keep the mana for the reality chip turn. I like this because this allows for the potential of a lot more card advantage off of the reality chip.
Yeah. Definitely.
Tapping for white here was, I don't know why. Oh, because it's still a creature. Okay.
Yeah, it's still a creature. So now you play this. Now, this is one thing we don't really get to do with Magic Online. We don't really get to look at the top, you know?
Right.
So it's going to be, the Spell Pierce was on top there pretty clearly. And now here we go.
Now they played the Ink Moth, though, early.
Yep. It's a great thing to get down, but, you know,
just
you
wait
want to see if you have a land. You could have an Ink Moth on top and then more cards.
Yeah. All right. So how big is this? A 5/5?
5/5. Yep.
All
Do we
right.
kill it? No, you can't, right? I mean, unless you lose Reflection, because you can animate that Ink Moth and make it a 6/6.
Yeah, you'd have to throw away all 3 of your creatures with text just to deal with this. And they don't have spell pierce up, so you can just you're just wondering if you chump it, and that's fine.
Well, now you have infinite chumpers with Reflection and Seasoned Pyromancer. That's going off for these Rakdos decks, but all right, so we are going here.
Going off.
Yep, we're gonna be drawing a card here. Thoughtseize. Oh, baby. I mean, it's not even like it's insane right now, but it's insane in the sense that you have 2 perfect cards to discard right now, bro.
It's a free discard.
Yeah. So I mean, do Reflection right now just to get it out of the way and just try to see if you have more action for this turn.
Especially because you're going to get 2 chump blockers for later in the game anyway.
Yeah, and you just want more removal to just maybe not die. You know?
I want to sift a little bit to find out if I can find an actual answer to the chip and not the creature.
Yeah, Culligan's Command one time, baby.
Yeah.
or Culligan's Command the chip and Esper Sentinel pay the 1. Yes, please.
Yeah, just trying to find a fatal push or just anything, right?
Yeah.
just see what our options are during our turn and not during the opponents when they have Spell Pierce up too.
And you got to think that that top card is probably a land or an uncastable. So it could be land, could be Paladin though. You know,
Could
Paladin
just
is
be
something
more
it could
Season
be.
Pyromancers.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking for Happy Sandwich on top
Oh,
of their
yeah.
deck because they didn't cast anything. So it's got to either be a land or an uncastable since they played a land. So
All right. Aggression is being met with aggression.
now what do you do? Do you like terminate, play the land, Season Pyromancer, just draw 2 and not get any more cards?
Well, you would get 2 cards with Season Pyromancer.
But I'm saying not get 2
Tokens?
elementals. Yeah.
I think the tokens are less relevant with 2 already in play and more
Totally
Season
agree.
Pyromancers later. Yeah, I am definitely all in on terminating the construct now, forcing them to tap mana to chip again if they want to, and just throwing another Season Pyromancer and just going super wide, just trying to get this game over this way. Because like now you have to think about it though. This terminate against 1 Spell Pierce does beat the Ink Moth combo.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
And you might be afraid of that, and you should be.
But can you beat the chip right now? You know, like that. The chip is just as deadly as Ink Moth when the Happy Sandwich player has some time. Now, that being said, they don't have that much time. They're at 9. You know,
Yeah,
like
they're
this
at
turned
18
into a
minutes and
game.
19 seconds. I think they got plenty of time.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I do think they got a couple minutes on their clock,
Yeah.
but I think they are struggling a little bit as far as just having time to continue.
All right. So Bloodstained Mire comes down. Thinking about these 2 lines, do we terminate the creature, allowing them to draw a card, and casting the Season Pyromancer to draw cards and to go a little bit wider and to get a few cards in the hand, or hold the terminate to try to beat the Ink Moth later on?
It's a tough one. You know, in our perfect knowledge, I like the terminate, and if you rip hammer, so be it. Like, I mean, it's pretty clear that hammer is not on top. You know, hammer would be cast. That would have
Yes.
been good. But I think I like this conservative play. They're gonna draw so many cards with this reflection combo that all they need to do is just not die. Like, you should just be in a mode. All right, Paladin was one of the cards that it could have been.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, it was
that's
Hollowed
pretty
Fountain, which
damn
was on
good.
top.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so second Esper Sentinel hits the board. Land for the turn is played. Do they have any more spells on top? Sounds like they do. Is that a Stoneforge Mystic? Stoneforge Mystic.
Reality Chip is insane.
It's so degenerate.
Oh yeah. See, imagine adding an Urza to this, Brad. It's so fun. You're playing free stuff off the top. You're playing what people are gonna yell at me for just saying this. What's the blue Mox? Just, you know.
The blue Mox?
Just blue, you know, the Power 9 card.
Mox Sapphire?
Sapphire, yeah, you're just playing like Bobble off the top, so you're playing Mox Sapphire off the top. Can you tell I don't play a lot of these really older formats?
Yes, I can tell.
You know, I think I'm gonna test for them though. You know, I think they're fun.
There might be a reason to test with formats that
Absolutely.
have Mox Sapphire.
Absolutely.
More information on that later.
All right, so the hammer comes into play, but it doesn't get cast because you do have it at instant speed. And now this is the win, all wrapped up next turn through double Spell Pierce. Like at this point, Happy Sandwich pretty much has this on lock for next turn, and it's going to be up to our Rakdos player to do something absurd this turn. But to be fair, something absurd is not really the deck's MO.
No.
You know, like
it terminate targeting an Esper Sentinel. Or no, these are the abilities. I was like, really?
It's targeting the construct.
Okay.
A little punish for, I mean, a lot of punish for doing it now. Yeah.
Punished.
Ooh, and didn't pay for one of them to play around the 1 Spell Pierce they know about, but drew a second hammer.
All right. Well, they need.
I think they need a pretty comfy but yet spacious body bag. You know, I think they need a good place to lay their head and enjoy the rest of their Sunday.
They need to appreciate the work that they've done and
to get
the
here.
they've gotten. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. As long as Happy Sandwich recognizes that. I mean, I guess was Blood Moon out? No, they had Spell Pierce too. Like,
yeah, they sell Spell Pierce.
Yeah. Explosives
is been Pithy Needle since the first turn of the game. So that's also not an out. Maybe no blocks are had.
Go on.
And a lightning bolt magically finds its way. And our card reader's wrong. And there's a lightning bolt in hand.
I'm liking these odds. Here's reality chip, proving it can do more than just completely win a game. It can also block. Wow, what a nice first match here. Where kind of two blowouts the first two games. This one got close, but it really kind of did feel like Happy Sandwich was ahead just off the basis of those two Urza Sagas that ate up so much removal and were Thoughtseize proof. You know, like Thoughtseize was the plan to break up that hand. Can't Thoughtseize a land.
Yeah, can't Thoughtseize a land and did break up the hand, but there wasn't much value there. But it gave enough time to draw into that reality chip.
Yep, and you
which
can't
is a huge one off top deck.
Yeah, and you can't Thoughtseize the top of the deck as well. And you also can't Thoughtseize the top of the deck when you're playing 4 of those cards. You know, like
oh my god.
Yeah, so it's gonna do it here. We'll take a look here while we're kind of getting into the end game here. Maybe if we can give you some updates here from our back tables, and we can give you one update here. Anderson Eclair was taken down by our number 1 seed, our 8-0 seed, our Grixis Death Shadow player, Tuscanani. Takes the first match, and moves to 9-0 in this.
9-0 in the tournament, yeah.
I mean, Brad, I think that's one of the most monumental wins in the history of Magic.
Beating Anderson? No, everyone does it.
Oh, burn. I meant being EXO in the Swiss and winning your quarterfinal.
Oh, that's true.
It's a curse. It's a full-on curse. You don't EXO the Swiss and then just advance through the quarterfinals. Yeah. Like, that is unbelievable.
And I'm just giving Anderson some gruff.
Yeah, he's our buddy. He's our buddy. He understands. We love him.
It doesn't mean it won't hurt as much. It still won't hurt him.
And honestly, Anderson's list is a lot better against, like the mirror match. That's what he wanted to play. The shadow decks, his deck is built a lot worse. Like an elemental deck is really what wants to play against shadows. So a little bit of a bad matchup there for Anderson in that first round. So congratulations to Tuscany. Moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, here's Colossus Hammer coming in to deal that final 11. Now just make sure to get that flying once again.
Yeah, and as long as their internet holds up, I think they got this. You laugh, but our internet service provider here, you never know. Well, you never know.
I have fiber.
Oh yeah, sick brag. I can't get that yet. All right, Happy Sandwich taking it down.
What is a good happy sandwich?
A good happy sandwich, I would say it's a grilled cheese without the crust. Well, come on, that's what you give to your kids. Old? This is a happy sandwich.
I'm saying, like, when you think of when I think of
I want a hearty sandwich.
Hardee's?
Hardy. Oh, Hardy.
Hardee's?
No, a Hardy.
Hardy. Oh, same, yeah. I'm thinking of Reuben.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt this very important conversation, but we're going to jump into game 3 of a match. I didn't quite hear you, but jump on in there, Adrian.
We'll set the stage once we see it.
We'll set the sandwich once we see it. Okay, this is Claudio, a fan favorite, y'all. Give it up for Claudio in chat. I don't know, he spammed this something to root for Claudio. I don't know what the kids say these days.
This no. To root for Claudio.
Okay, so this
will be going to game 3.
Yep, this is game 3. We have Blink up against our one Mert. All right, no, this is the. All right, sorry. Let me check this out.
This is.
Oh, this is the. They labeled it as "Is It Fairies?" How do you feel about that, Brad?
It was an early submission while it was still set for last month's popper. So
okay,
this is it's Is It Murktide against 4-color money
piles of cash. We'll get you these hand cams here in a second, but both players kept. You gotta love that. I think this match is really close, but wait, I'm sorry. I was gonna say it's a lot worse for the Is It player, depending on the list and depending on the endurance count. And only 2 endurances. So this isn't like that amazing matchup. Some lists go up to 4 endurances. There's a lot of quaddles here, which are also pretty advantageous for Claudio. I would still give advantage to Claudio, especially being on the play, but it's still close.
Well, that might change when there is only Simic mana available.
Ooh, you're going to want more colored mana there.
Yeah, I think there's 2 problems right now.
They're about to drop a Vulnerable Monk.
There's only 2 colors in play and not a lot of money. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are it's
Yeah.
4 colors and money. That's what we
Yeah.
need in play.
Okay, okay. Admittedly, I was looking at the deck list trying to set the scene before I looked at this hand, but yeah, at this point, you and honestly, look at this. Claudio waited till um his opponent's turn to Solitude instead of at his own end step when his opponent was tapped out. Regavan, that gets countered. Regavan comes through. We might even see another blue loud, and Quado comes down. Wow.
That's amazing.
That
And
all
the
these
foresight to have snow-covered islands to get that death touch soon.
I hate it.
I
hate
love it. I love it here.
I hate it. I hate it. I play my other basics. I don't care about my incremental advantage that I could maybe get if I get a snow permanent off my Regavan. Playing John Avon lands, and I'm taking my couple percentages.
Yeah,
I'll lose 1 out of 100 games because of it. I'm
that's
fine with
because
it.
you old.
I am old. Maybe it's. I think it's that's how you taught me. So I blame you. You know,
Yeah.
your decks were always so pretty. At least your land,
Well,
your
that's
cosmetic
because
lands.
that's because it was standard and snow wasn't around.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
it is. But I agree with you. The
Oh,
subtleties
my
coming in
God.
good. Like that's a huge tempo play because that's going to keep the Regavan around.
Yeah, and it's like you probably have to put this on top. That is like the best scenario for subtlety. That's honestly the only time we really saw it be really good.
Well,
You
one or
know,
two for
like-
one is a tempo related thing with a Regavan. Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
keep it on top because your opponent then gets a Regavan.
Oh, yeah, gets a Ren.
Gets a Ren. Yeah, you can't leave it
Oh,
on
we're gonna
top.
find out. Okay, yeah, good point. Good point.
Another Regavan.
God, I guess we're just we might be having to dish out another body bag here real quick. We're letting them.
It is how to. So I learned this a long time ago, and this is a philosophy I've always kept. Tournaments are not designed to create winners. They design losers.
Yes.
Because one person's a winner, and everyone else can feel like a loser.
But man, how good does it feel to be the winner? You know, I've won very small amounts of tournaments in my life, but I make sure, and Tori hates this. My fiance absolutely hates this. I make sure to celebrate for a full week. I start Monday, and I'm just like, no, I just won a tournament this week, Tori. And she's like, shut up, you still have to do the dishes. And I'm like, but it's tournament week.
It's tournament week. You
gotta celebrate your victories.
I appreciate what I'm saying is you have to appreciate your victories, even if they ended in a loss.
Yeah.
That is truly important. I have a different philosophy.
If you're not first, you're last.
I just don't even celebrate anything anymore. I just go back to work.
That is the most depressing thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You should not listen to that philosophy. Yeah. X-Whale here. Will Kruger's just in chat, testing for his next tournament. Will go out, drink a margarita right now for a full week. Okay. Listen to Corey. Don't listen to Brad. Okay. That's too much work.
So after Mythic Championship 7, I took second. I walked away with 50,000, but just missed Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I walk outside, and a few friends are like, hey, do you want to just stay? Because I missed my flight home.
Yeah.
Because I top 8'd. And they're like, do you just want to stay and celebrate for the night? And I'm like, I just did celebrate by booking first class on my one-way trip home, and my Uber's here. See y'all. And I just went home.
All right, that's still kind of a baller move, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That's pretty good. All right, getting back to this game, it's still 100% dumpster fire. If you're catching up,
I do believe that the expressive got disputed.
It got disputed, yeah. With the one blue, now there's a dress down. Like we're at 7. It would take a miracle at this point. And it doesn't even start with Omnath. Most of them start with that.
Well, it starts with the terminus, right?
What?
You said it'll need a miracle? Are you thinking entreat?
All right, hey, Brad's going to finish this broadcast out, y'all. I had myself a good weekend. Adrian and Brad will be giving you the rest of the coverage.
Why does somebody in chat just keep saying, is it Todd Anderson?
I don't know.
They're getting to me. Like, they're in my head.
In your head?
I don't know if they're just messing with us, but yeah, those comments, I can't get out of my head.
Ah, gotcha. Maybe they're saying Todd's in the tournament. Maybe they don't know their moto name.
Or us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. We've been saying Anderson the whole weekend.
Yeah. Oh, that makes way more sense. No.
Yeah, Todd Anderson is Anderson's dad. That is a fact.
Yes.
Yeah. Look on their Facebook, Twitter. There's a picture of all of them with Roll Todds in the family. Callie, Todd Anderson. They're one big happy family.
All right. So, what is the decision? Just saying go? Trying to bolt something on the following turn? Oof, this is bad.
Yeah, and like the really bummer thing is like number one, your other land has a Beseju. Beseju's already bad against Murktide.
You drew
That's
both.
the cost of Beseju, but the gains is one of your actually secret worst matchups. Kron. I don't even like to say it out loud. It's kind of like Voldemort, you
Why
know?
can't you just board one Beseju out in matchups where it's going to do this? I've
I
seen this
do when
come
I'm
up a
on the
lot.
draw. I do when I'm on the
Yeah,
draw.
on the draw is
But
cool.
on the play, it's too important. And Claudio was on the play. It's just too important to make sure you hit a critical mass of lands in this deck because, well, if you ever hit 2 lands Ren, you're set. But if you have 1 land Ren, you cry,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah.
All right, Bolt on the Regiman is going to be met with that counterspell that was nope. Just going to take the 3. I mean, that makes sense. Now you can just slam a Murktide with counterspell backup, or you can just expressive and continue to slow down this game because trying to go for the throw and then failing. I like this play. Don't try to kill your opponent. You've already got threats in play.
Yep.
You just keep trying to build this advantage you're getting by your opponent being stuck.
Yep. And we see the steam vents here. So that consider is going to be the second spell. Discard your dress down. Put this shredder up to 3. Quaddle's 4th point of damage. And at this point now you have a counter spell. Your opponent has to do 2 things to stop you from dying because you have a counter spell. Actually discards Murktide though. That's kind of wild to me.
Keep all the ways to gain value. I mean, if your opponent goes for with 2 green in play, goes for an Omnath, you can just dress down it and win.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right. With this, we might see our second 4-color deck out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And with that, we can guarantee that we have
that we won't have any 4-color mirror matches. High five.
Hey-o.
I mean, we're not biased here on coverage. We're just thinking about y'all, what you want. Yeah, but it does look like we just still have our other matchup as well. Magic of Player 1 and Shutter MTG are still playing, as far as I know.
You just have to snap the counterspell. Yeah.
I think you do, yeah. Because especially if it was double blue, you'd think about it, maybe. But yeah, as it stands now, that's it. That's all she wrote. GGs are being met in chat, and that is game. Our one and only Is It Murktide player, Is It Fairies, I guess, self-proclaimed, moves on to the top 4. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the booth. All right, and it sounds like we just got our final update, and our Elementals player did win. So Magic of Player 1 moves on to fight against Death Shadow. That's going to be a good one. We're going to have Elementals versus Death Shadow. And then we're going to have Is It Murktide up against Hammer Time. So that's going to be our top 4. Some great matches left to be played and some other fun surprises to be brought as well. After this round, or after this short break, maybe we can have Adrian hold these players for just a bit so they don't start. And because we're going to, when we get back from this break, we're going to tell you what the format is going to be for the July series. Now, what? Now we're going to start that qualify for it the second Wednesday, I believe, of the month. So still got a little time to get tested up on this format. But we're going to take ourselves a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Don't blink because the coverage gets done real quick on the Top 8 Sunday. So we'll see you soon.
It's historic.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Mana Trader series featuring Modern. I'm Corey Baumeister. That's Brad Nelson.
What up?
We are going to be bringing you the rest of this tournament here. We are down to 4 players. So first, we're also going to be letting you know what the format is for next month, But first, let's just take a look at that bracket real quick, Adrian, if you got that queued up. And we'll see the action that we've had so far. I kind of threw you off a loop there, maybe, so you don't...
You gave him instructions about everything and then just
changed it. Yeah, I lied. Okay, so
welcome
we don't have the bracket.
Hell, Adrian.
Yes. This is I keep Brad on his toes. So all right, instead of that, how about we just tell him about the format?
Just tell him what format is next and the date.
You told him it was historic.
Yeah, well, I lied.
Oh, you did lie. That's right. Yeah, that wouldn't work too well. So the format for July is gonna be vintage. We're going to be playing some vintage here in July. Brad, what do you know about vintage? Because we're going to be casting it together. It's going to be that last month. That last week in July. So it's going to be the 30th. It's going to be the 31st. Yep. Me and Brad will be confirmed to do that one. Brad and I.
All right. So it's going to be vintage. One of the oldest formats allowed playing cards all the way from alpha the first year, which is actually kind of special this month. Are you playing NBA Jam?
I'm gonna play NBA Jam instead.
Are you turning it on? It's gonna make sound.
Yeah,
This is going off the rails. I don't think managers are gonna be happy. No, but so it's you turn it off, right? Okay, so it's gonna be vintage, and this July actually, Wizards is having M30 celebrations, the first celebration month of their 30th anniversary, which is great that we're going to be casting cards from that first year on the Mediterranean Series.
Absolutely.
So perfect format to start the 30th. You get to try to qualify all month starting in the second week. So there'll be 2 weeks of qualifying.
Yep.
And we're going to get to see some crazy shenanigans with Black Lotuses and Narsets, and don't quiz me on a lot of the other cards. No, I'm familiar with a lot of the decks.
I'm not going to quiz you. I don't even know what the blue Mox was called. So I clearly have some homework to do.
What's the white one?
Before Mox, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? No, that's the green one. Mox.
Two more.
Oh, dang it.
One of them is
Mox Opal, of course. Yeah, that's I played with that one.
One of them is a team, an NFL team.
Okay. Oh, the Mox Miami Titans, right?
How'd you get Miami Titans?
All right, yeah, I don't know what they are, to be fair.
Jet and Pearl.
Jet and Pearl. Okay, absolutely. Nobody knows Jets because they don't win any games, you know? So
neither do the Mox Jets.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, everyone. So we are going to be playing Vintage next month. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you there. If you want to rent some of these cards and you don't want to be like, buying Black Lotuses, but to be fair, I don't think they're that expensive online. So I think Vintage is actually a pretty affordable, format to play online comparison to, Money Pile when it comes to Modern. So most Mana Trader subscriptions here, even at some of the lower tiers, can probably get you a decent deck.
Oh, for sure.
It's not as bad as Modern, to be honest. I think it's really supply and demand that drives these formats up in prices. And Yorian drives things up in prices because you got to play that extra 20 cards.
20 extra cards, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to use !Bash Bros, that'll give you 15% off for your next 2 months. You can start testing here right now. Well, maybe wait till after the show, but you can start testing for Vintage. Get into it. You could be on this spot next month. You could win yourself $3,000. You could qualify for that December tournament. All these things that we're going to be giving away this round. So that's next month. Now we're going to get to the deck list here for this matchup that we're going to be watching. Let's start with our first deck list here, our Grixis Death Shadow deck.
And now to set the stage, I really do want to say this match, the 2 matches that are happening in the semifinals are win-in-ins effectively for that December Invitational.
Yes.
And so the work that they did to qualify for this tournament and to play all yesterday is coming to fruition. This match, one more match, gets you to that Invitational, 48 players, a chance at your piece of $30,000 as a total prize pool, and probably a giant trophy. I don't know anymore, but I'm just gonna. I think if we just say things.
Yeah. No, they're actually just giving them BBD's World Trophy that I believe you still have. They're just giving them that, right? So we'll talk to BBD.
Yeah,
about that. I'm sure he's cool. Yeah. Well, no. That's mine, dude. That's fine. I need that. So, all right, Brad, tell me a little bit about this deck.
Tell you about the deck that you play and love, and I see sleeved over at your table.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It is the colors black, red, and blue. The strategy is simple. There's 5 different ways you can play out the games. 1, play Ragavan and protect it and gain value that way. 2, kill their things and play Expressive Evasion, draw cards. That also applies to the Ledger Shredders. 3, no, I don't know. I don't know where else to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, Grixis Shadow, we've seen this before, though. This is with Luris. It was the supercharged deck, one of the tier 0 decks. It's still making a comeback because you luckily have Giganta. Still a really strong deck, and this is our only player that is undefeated. I mean, they're 9-0 right now, so they're really trying to defend and try to get the perfect 11-0. Honestly, 9-1 here is so brutal just because of what you were saying. Getting to that final tournament has so much value because we don't know the final payouts on everything, but believe it or not, this 32-person tournament is going to pay out more than these
48.
events that we're playing. These 48-person tournaments are going to pay out more than this event is itself. So let's check out that other deck that we're going to be up against here. And there it is. This is 4-color elementals, something we haven't seen on camera a lot. Pretty close to what we just saw be taken down from Claudio. But the big difference here is you do have Risen Reef. So this is a deck where you're trying to go Risen Reef, get one of these Evoked Fury or Solitudes, where you get that value back with Risen Reef, where you're able to kind of just play Fury for free, essentially, when you get to draw one of these cards back and just kind of overrun your opponent with value. Now, that aspect of itself against Grixis Death Shadow, not very good. But the other thing that is kind of unique to this deck, 4 Ice Fang Quaddles with 4 Snow Basics is going to be excellent against Ragavans, DRCs, Croxas. Ice Fang Quaddles excellent in this
And another
matchup.
thing you can't really scoff at is that this is a version that still is playing 3 Veil of Summer.
Yeah.
Which is a very good card in a matchup
yes.
that is trying to counter and kill your things with the mirror base cards.
Yes, absolutely. So, match is just about to start, Brad. Who do you got? Who's your pick?
Oh, I'm going with 9-0 Grixis. It's hard to stop the moving train here.
Yeah.
But if the match hasn't started yet, can I argue with someone from Twitch chat?
You can, but the match has started, so you're gonna have to argue
we gotta
once
go.
it's in the match. So we're gonna get into the match.
I'll take it to Twitter
and then yell at Twitch chat. We're fine with that. So here is gonna be our 2 players: Tuscanani versus Magic of Player 1. We got Death Shadow on the bottom, and we have our Elemental deck up top. We'll see Tuscanani was having a little trouble with the hand cam, so we're going to see if we get that for you. Might not have that one, but we should have the Elementals hand cam, and it looks like both players kept 7, bro.
Yeah, we're going to see if this is a Ragavan creature or, okay, a Dragon Rage Channeler.
All right, going to be a lot of, here's the thing about these draws when Death Shadow is on the draw. I was just going to say, is they're that Ren and 6 that takes down the first creature. It's always the roughest thing, that's why I always love to, if you have the ability to do so, to be able to Thoughtseize right away, keep your creatures in hand, and especially keep Ragavan just to dash it. There's too many sorcery speed ways to deal with it.
Yeah, you just got to accept that 2-for-1 on turn 2. So hopefully, Grixis has a way to interact with this Ren, because if it starts generating that card advantage, it's such a snowball.
Yep, Unholy Heat, or we already have Delirium. That's how fast Grixis Shadow gets it, or the Ragavan to be able to just dash into a Ren.
That is true, yeah.
Inquisition.
Yeah, Inquisition is probably going to take Ice or the Eternal Witness. Probably Eternal Witness. Seems like a more card. And there it is. Unholy Heat takes that Ren and 6. And now, you still have the
a clean 2-for-1.
Yeah, and you still have the value with the Ice Fang Quaddle, but one of the biggest issues here is one deck has Expressive Iteration.
Yeah.
And the other does not. And that is a very powerful card. So
exactly. The Elementals deck gives up Expressive Iteration for 2 things. Cavern of Souls. You can't really iterate with that. And Risen Reef, the kind of already card advantage card on 3. Pretty similar to Expressive Iteration. Expressive Iteration really is not a 2-drop, even though it does cost 2 mana. So it does come with a huge cost. Expressive Iteration is insane. And I do firmly believe that Grixis Death Shadow is the best Expressive Iteration deck in the metagame right now.
It has a lot of 1-drops for it.
So good.
All right, so we see a Death Shadow coming down. Already turn 3, 11 life. And there's that Ice Fang.
And we don't have to see the hand cams to know that this is getting drowned.
Really?
I would think. You don't have snow permanents, but yeah. Just the way that they've played, it would make sense that you have Death Shadow drown to protect it. And it does kind of work out here. Going to be a big draw for. Okay, not the worst. Ren or Death Shadow is a 2/2, so that Ren's not completely backbreaking, but it is backbreaking in the sense that now these 5-drops, uncounterable, are going to be online, and that's a problem for Shadow. Cavern is actually a pretty big deal up against these Shadow decks.
Well, you really rely on that tempo that's provided by having a card like Drawn in the Lock for a 5-drop.
Yeah.
Those are huge turns for Death Shadow, and when that
agree.
card is again going to cost you a 2-for-1 the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is huge. This goes up to 6, takes the Solitude, and the Fury no longer can trade its 4 damage against the Death Shadow. Now the Death Shadow will have to find a little bit more damage to get above the double strike.
Yes, absolutely. And you're going to see this go up to 6 to even kill Ren as well. The Ren has kind of done its damage, but still pretty strong. And we're going to see what the follow-up is. My money's on big old Giganta here. Get that into your hand. Get it on in
with
there.
only 1 card in hand, I do think that might be the play. I have been impressed with you've call shotted a lot of the turns without seeing the hand. You like
Oh,
this deck.
I like this deck a lot, bro. I like this deck a lot. But yeah, as it stands, Fury is going to be okay here as it is a blocker to get in the way, but it's not insane. I wouldn't even be too shocked to see Abundant Growth to start, maybe trying to find something a little better like Omnath or just buy Yorion. Abundant Growth into Yorion, draw card. Seems better to me than just a kind of empty Fury.
Yeah, especially with the fact that if your opponent got Giganta, didn't have something else to do, that means that they might have another landing hand. And if that's not a basic, that deals damage to them, which gets bigger than the double strike 3/3.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to assume that even if you cast the Fury, it's not going to deal relevant damage initially and still not be able to block this Death Shadow.
Yeah, the hand that you have to have where Death Shadow has to hold back is just outrageous. Like Inquisition, that Giganta, like even Iteration, you're gonna find it. Any fetch land, you're gonna get it above. Thoughtseize, Unholy Heat can kill it. Terminate can kill it. Like it's got to be just like Regavans, DRCs, that kind of thing. So
but that is the play they're going to do. They're going to just hope that's their look.
Now we see Fury here coming down to take down, well, to at least, slap up Shadow a little bit. Pretty disappointed by a couple things in this game here so far. One, we don't get to see the Shadow's hand. Their software was not agreeing. That happens, but mostly the deck naming by Adrian here. Just Shadows. Just
it's lazy.
Yeah, it's, you know what? I think
that is some Sunday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's Grixis, Giganta, Iteration, Ledger Shredder, Shadow.
It's just lazy, Adrian. And I'm all for it.
All right, here's the Risen Reef off the top. That could be big game. A decent card here.
It can start something, right?
Exactly. Could be big game, as in the sense that it can find you into something good.
So, I mean, I think what we're hoping for here is one of the next two cards off the top is that prismatic
ending. Yep.
Yes, prismatic ending, able to take care of this Death Shadow.
Yep, that would be really big. Right, it is a Heath.
That is a first brick, so now we're going to see the Abundant Growth probably, enchant onto it.
And now you're going to top deck the other Abundant Growth for not putting it on Triumph? Nope. Oh, Teferi's a great top deck. That is one of the targets for Drown that could easily be in Tuscanani's hand, just because, you're not really able to counter these Risen Reefs, other elementals and stuff. So we're going to see an attack here. And now even if Teferi does bounce Death Shadow, you're going to need a little bit more help. You're going to need a little bit more help here.
Adrian with the win. Dun, dun,
just pull that all the way to the left. Just pull that right into the battlefield.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's too big to even get on the screen.
Oh god. Okay, there we go. Grixis Monkey Shatter, Expressive Shadow Elk. Okay.
I really hope
the
big dogs, the bosses of Mana Traders rolls in right now to see this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm actually just getting word Adrian is fired. So
Shadow Elk. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting back to the game.
Oh.
Eladamri's Call is a big draw here. So you can go for Eladamri's Call into Omnath and just straight cast Omnath, uncounterable, but you don't have a fetch land available. So something like Drown in the Lock actually still kills it. It doesn't counter it, so they'd still get that card out of it. Now let's take a peek at the list here as far as other targets. Other one-ofs, you can get Witness. You can get a Solitude that you'd just be able to
Witness
pitch.
is in the graveyard already.
Okay, yep. Witness is already in the graveyard. Decides to go for the call.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like getting Omnath, trying to get some value. You get two cards out of it.
Yep.
And if they both are lands, the benefit of that, or even if one of them's a fetch land, you can still put it in your hand.
Yep.
Oh, this is what's going to get drowned.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Yeah.
But Teferi is going to do some nice work here. But remember that Teferi is going to put that Giganta into Tuscanani's graveyard.
Yeah. That's going to allow for a loot.
You never know. If there's a land, you might not. Yeah. Okay, if we can take a peek at that graveyard, see what we discarded there.
The bottom one, yeah.
Okay, Giganta did go to the yard. So something that we liked, that almost assuredly signals that it is not a land.
Yeah, it is a spell.
Okay, now we're at the point. Ooh, Ice Fang Quaddle is a great draw.
And this
if we have the time.
this is where you kind of do get bit a little bit on that windswept teeth. I thought about it. It's like maybe it's still worth putting out the abundant on it so that you don't have to take a pain.
Yeah.
But you do lose out on getting eventually to Death Touch Ice Fangs.
Yep, exactly. You lose out on that.
You can sacrifice it and then you lose your Value later. It's not
Yeah,
the biggest
yeah.
deal.
Okay, so here we're seeing this. We have that other card in hand that is a Death Shadow. So at worst, we're just adding a Death Shadow to the battlefield. At the best, the game's over. There's a removal spell. You get Risen Reef out of here. Take 5. And we're gonna go on to game 2. So a nice play and top deck here from Tuscanani. And even if you don't find it here, okay, Death Shadow to the yard. I mean, we found something good.
Big.
Okay, we're gonna take a peek at the top.
I'm really intrigued what it is. Maybe another.
There's no
spell?
miracles. We're not treat the angels.
All right, so guessing 5 to the face because you don't want to allow them to keep the Risen Reef. Like if you attack the Teferi with anything, then you can just take it.
Yeah.
Whereas that attack forces that death.
Yep. Had to make sense that it was a threat there. If it was a drowned or something with a Teferi in play, that's no good.
And I like keeping the Darcy here, just having 2 flying threats that are lethal now.
No. That was the best top deck by far. You get to keep that Heath. Now you're gonna also get punished again for this abundant growth target because more than likely that Heath is going away for life, and
actually,
then later on,
it would have had to later, and it might not have been the value from the Omnath. This is great.
Yeah,
this guarantees the life, and now with the bolt, that guarantees living.
Oh wait, you can't crack the fetch land right now.
Because you're at 1.
Yeah, you're at 1. This Quaddle has to find a land for it to just be absurd, right?
Yeah.
For this to just be absurd. Find a fetch land, and gain a bunch of life. Big draw step.
Oh, and it can gain 9. It can gain 9, and then still. Oh, with the bolt, this is absurd.
Yeah, it can gain 7. But yeah, you can.
Well, yeah, because you have to shock to cast the bolt.
Exactly. Yeah.
You go to 9, I guess you can.
Yeah, or you just, you not really care and you just chump with Quaddle. And the thing is, you can be patient here. Normally you'd want to fetch right away at upkeep to minimize, either a removal spell or something like that. But with Teferi on the battlefield, which I'm not sure if Teferi even ticked up that turn. We might have got too excited and forgot. It did? Okay.
Yeah, it bounced the last turn.
Okay. So we've been doing a decent amount of looting here, but man, all of a sudden Omnath puts Magic Player 1 kind of right back in this game. All right, here comes the attack to the face.
I don't know if I would have attacked with the Death Right or the DRC.
Well, you have to. So.
No, I know. Sometimes I like getting Corey. Sorry, everyone listening. Sometimes I can't resist.
I like it, and I hate it here. All right, so we see that fetch land. We see Lightning Bolt take out DRC. More than likely going to see this Ledger Shredder get chump blocked. And now we have an extra 3 more life to be gained off that Heath if Omnath is not dealt with. And we're 1 land away from that magical number 8 in these elemental decks that gives you that Yorion play here.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult.
The heat is on. That's going to make it a little less difficult.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, now if that last card is something good as well, advantage right back to Tuscanani, but no play. So likely that is either another removal spell. It's not Expressive Iteration, I'll tell you that, bro.
It is not Expressive Iteration. All right, so we're going to see getting that Yorion in hand, saying go.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt was an awful draw there. And there's the Bibbin. There's the Bibbin, and there's a land.
So this is just so you can look at your top of your deck.
Yep.
Guarantee guarantee the opportunity to get rid of it if you want to.
And now I think at this point you have to attack Teferi. The jig is up. You give up on that. Now you need to kill Teferi, and you need to find Drown in the Lock. That fetch land did not get sacked. So whatever is on top, it's an answer to Yorion, or at least helps a little bit. Maybe Unholy Heat you keep as well. I'd keep Unholy Heat. I'd keep Drown. I'd keep Iteration. Yeah. That's my line right there.
And so we're going to be able to see a Yorion come down and flicker this growth to get 1 card draw. The saddest of Yorions. I guess not the sad.
Definitely not the sad. I've cast a lot sadder ones in my day. It's Drown in the Lock. Whew.
That is a great card to have on top of your deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Is that 3 now? I think that's 3 draw unlocks. That is
They're
fortunate.
drowning in all the luchs.
Yeah, they got them all.
Yep.
All right, fetching that land down to 6. Ooh, that could be disaster next turn.
Yeah.
That's an out.
What?
Another lightning bolt. That's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, cracking to 6.
Yeah, honestly, Magic players' deck list, normally I think Lightning Bolt is a much worse
Is it
card.
2 or 1 in the deck
I think it's
list?
4. I think they're playing 4.
Well, then you should not have cracked.
3,
There's
3,
3, and there's
3.
only 1 in the grid. Oh!
Wait. It's Lightning Helix!
It's Lightning Helix! No way that crack Fetchland did not need to happen. Oh, what a small little misstep to get brutalized by a 1-of that was left in the 55 card deck to take game 1.
I'm so confused. Why did we crack that fetch land?
There was no reason.
Oh my god. You know Tuscanani is going to look back if he were to, not win these last 2 games and look back at this moment where it's like, okay, come on. You got the drowned. You had everything in place, where you're really putting yourself in an amazing position to win. And now you just sacked some, got a little too overzealous and just cost yourself a game.
Well, hopefully in these situations, I've had enough of them in my career to where I lose a game that I should have won in a major spot in my career. And sometimes I've crumbled and sometimes I've come back. And it is not an easy spot to sit there and say, I am now another game further away than I could have been from what I'm looking for because I'm a dum-dum.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but definitely for me, the early parts of my career, my tournament was over half the time if I make that kind of a huge punt, like it was always tough for me to get back into it. Being a young kid, trying, not being able to control your emotions, wanting something so bad. And, this is one of those scenarios where you want it, you want that qualification to play in that 48-person tournament. You want, $3,000. I'd want that. That's cool. Yeah.
Of course.
So, that's tough. Let's see. These players are no slouches, though. They'll be able to probably dust this off. But
after just such a great game, just a tiny little misstep. That's a tough way to take a loss. But I do think after going 9-0 up to this point, you can stabilize.
Yeah. But I think 100%. This is hands down just a fact. If Tuscanani had his hand cam, he wouldn't have cracked that fetch line.
I don't have a response. I'm speechless.
All right. So looking at the sideboard here, some cards that I would definitely be considering to bring in. You want those stress downs. You want those mystical disputes. You want those Turoks. And we have seen this matchup before, and we saw Kolaghan's Command in the deck. So Tuscanani values that card in these grindy matchups maybe a little bit more than I would. But especially with Veils, I would love to see Tuscanani not bring them in this time.
Well, but that card can still just
get veiled.
Well, it can get veiled to make part of it relevant, but you could still return the creature from your graveyard, and that's a valuable side of it.
That is true. The way
that I see Kolaghan's Command in a matchup like this is it's not great, but it will make them discard and you draw, and that's fine. And it also kills a Risen Reef as well.
True. I do think it's better against this version than I believe Anderson was playing the Delirium style that didn't have Risen Reef. So, all right, looking at this hand, we have, some of my favorite cards ever printed, but no lands.
Well, no, you do have a land, but it's called Cavern of Souls.
Yeah. Oath of Nissa, though. Oath of Nissa Cavern of Souls combo is awesome.
Ooh, what? That's
a stinker.
That's a problem.
No sugarcoating that one. You got to keep it, but it's a stinker. You can't go to 5 against Death Shadow. I barely want to go to 6.
So you keep that one lander. All right. Well, at least we've got Regavan check.
Yeah, it passes the Regavan check. That is really what you need against these Shadow decks, and especially against the Murktide decks. Shadow decks, you don't really have that consistent counterspell on turn 2 as often as the Murktide decks, but you still need to deal with Regavan. It's usually pretty tough.
All right. So debating on, sequencing out these lands, just got to make sure which Flooded Strand to crack first.
Yep. Big draw step there for Ren and 6, though. Can't complain about that.
No, that's a big one.
And here, some people would be like, okay, why don't you wait for Lightning Bolt just in case they play land dash Regavan? What if they go land with Drown in the Lock? So you got it bolted now. I totally agree with that.
Thoughtseize for the Ren and 6. Brutal. That was a way to get a little bit of card advantage and some late game value.
But no land, Brad.
Oh, that's big.
Did we keep a Tilter one-lander on the play, relying on Regavan? I keep plenty of one-landers with Death Shadow, even on the play, but it almost always includes DRC Bobble.
Mhm.
Outside of that, maybe 2 Regavans. And don't get me wrong, we especially me, we go by the school of Seth Manfield. Just keep it.
Just keep them all.
Keep them.
Yeah,
Keep
I
'em.
got a lot better at Magic when I started keeping hands that I thought were unplayable. I still lost a lot of those games because I didn't draw the things I needed.
Yeah, but that was bad luck, not
Yeah,
bad decisions. Yeah.
all right, so Yorion into the hand. And 5 cards with this. Are we going to see an expressive iteration here?
Almost assuredly, right? If you're
Yeah.
keeping a one lander,
It's got to have one.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, if you attack with Ragavan and you don't have that second land and you expressive iteration off that treasure, it feels so good.
Oh, I've never done that. Have
Oh,
you?
it feels good. Well, because you connected with Ragavan when you
Yeah.
needed to, like you
Oh,
play Ragavan, you cross your fingers, and you go to town.
I'm just saying I don't think anything that special has ever happened in my life.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Not even, your little brother being brought into the world, but sure, yeah, that's fine.
Wow. Way to take it there. Yeah, this is called a yes and broadcast.
Yeah. All right, so we got DRC coming in. We got a knife in Brad's back here simultaneously, and we're moving on to turn 4 here.
It only hurts a lot. Another land, 2 5 drops. Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to just start casting 5s and hope it's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's odds are it's not.
Yeah, here I got a big question for you, though. I want to get back to one of the things we were really talking about, some of the important things. What's your favorite kind of happy sandwich? Is it a happy sandwich that is onto the finals of the Mana Trader series here in Modern, or is it like a club?
I see where we're going with this. Do we have a happy sandwich in the finals?
We got a happy sandwich as our first finalist that is going to be moving on to the December tournament and is going to be playing the winner of this. That's one happy sandwich. That's one rich sandwich after this, because they took this incredibly, tuned blue-white hammer deck, played it quite well throughout the weekend, and is in the finals. So
Yeah.
congrats to Happy Sandwich.
Congratulations, Happy Sandwich. We'll see you in an hour after this 4-color matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. But getting back to this game, we saw Torok Dread Cantor here coming down, discarding a couple lands, stranding some lands in hand. Now we got this.
It hit the Yorion as
Boseiju.
well.
It hit the Yorion. That's huge.
That
Losing
is.
Yorion, you have no way to get back from that. Like you're never getting Yorion back. And that is a big problem.
Yeah.
DRC gone, but the major threat here is still hanging around, as well as 4 cards in hand, So far, we don't know the exact hand of Tuscanani, but you got to know it's gas. There's not a lot of lands since we were missing lands for a bit.
All right. So, yeah, hit a Risen Reef off of that Ragavan.
And checks clock. Looks like about 7 minutes ago, Chad is seeing this double lightning bolt top deck. We love this.
All right, just breaking. Gonna take a guaranteed 6 damage this turn.
Tuscanani would have been really hoping that this was a guaranteed onto the finals here, instead of having to play a game number 3 here, which this game is looking quite good, unless it's complete garbage in hand. But we know there's a Ragavan.
Yeah, these are also the situations where you're like, well, it's a sideboard. Like these are if it's bad way to think about it, but this is something I always did. It's like if I lose that punted game 1, hit a Teferi.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, you actually get to fetch another land. Tuscanani definitely thought it out before fetching that one. You're like, okay, checks notes, not at 6. Play a Teferi. Why not? You can actually do a cute little play here if Tuscanani wants to do it. Bounce Ragavan, play Ragavan.
And yeah, bouncing it anyway, just to get the card.
Yeah, might as well. You want to take 3, go to 7? Nah.
I think you keep it in case like Ren.
Yeah.
Well,
Ren,
actually,
let's see if there's
could
verdict.
it be?
I mean, if there's verdicts in the deck, if there's even one verdict, but I don't think there was in this list. So, yep.
All right.
That's Tuscanani. Oh, wait, no, there is one in the sideboard. Yep. So that's Tuscanani going on. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Adrian. Let's take a look at the Elemental sideboard. Brad, what do you like for this one? There's a lot of cards that I see.
Yeah, I like keeping 7 cards and having a mixture of spells and lands that are castable throughout the game. But yeah,
I see how you made your career of these strategies.
I really did.
Keep hands, win games.
I didn't realize this. Just taking a look at this deck, I didn't see it. 4 Boseiju. Yeah, really. That's an interesting. I didn't know that was a thing that people did.
Yeah, honestly, the Tron matchup is so bad. The Amulet matchup can be rough at time if you don't have Dress Down. I was always under the impression that I really liked, Boseiju is for big mana, but I really liked a little exchange of some dress down, some Besages, but it always felt so weird to bring in dress down against a deck where dress down wrecks you.
Yeah.
But you play it in response to your opponent's things,
Mhm.
so it's not really intuitive that you want that. But yeah, 4 Besages in this list.
That is impressive. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not bringing that in
No,
anyway.
no, no. Yeah.
yeah. So engineered explosives, relic is fine, but mostly it's that Veil and the engineered explosives are two cards that I'm considering in a matchup like this.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if engineered explosive is the type of card that you like in a matchup like this because it also takes your growths. But those are the only options, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm missing a few in my opinion. Endurance,
they?
insane against this deck.
Oh, okay.
Ambushing, DRCs, and Relic is actually the best card against Shadow. It shuts down.
Sure, yeah.
Shuts down their drowns because it takes your own graveyard.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's low key one of the best cards against it, but it
That's
doesn't
fair.
feel like it should be a good card, But yeah, I hate seeing Relic on the other
Ooh,
side.
another one lander gonna.
Oh no, yeah. So far, Magic player one has drawn like trash for opening hands. Okay, this sounds great though. This sounds great, but Brad, what do you start with? This is the tough one. Actually, this is not that tough. I don't think, but
Well, I'm assuming you start with the forest because the Ren doesn't have a fetch land.
exactly. Forest abundant growth, but if
Yeah.
it was like if there was like fetch land and Triumph, then I think it's close.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, decides to go with Triumph.
It's
What do
also
we know?
hard to guarantee that the Ren's going to happen in a
Yeah.
matchup with this much hand disruption.
Yeah. Yep. Here we go. I'm probably going to see that Ren hit the bin. And here's one play that I love. We can't see Tuscanani's hand, but if there was like Regavan or DRC, thought seizing on one when there could be a Ren is huge.
Oh, it has to happen.
Yeah. And when there's Chalice, you do that Chalice check where like if you do not take that Chalice out, you just lose the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. You don't want to get blown out on turn 2 when you have a Thoughtseize in your hand.
Yeah. The game could be literally over.
Literally.
I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec, so I've been getting into that that one character, from season 4 there. All right, getting back to the game. We got that abundant growth.
Pooping. Now that's interesting too. Growth, not on the forest. Now, why would someone do that?
The
in
forest,
case you draw another green thing.
Most of the time, the forest is like the type of mana you normally want. So it's not the biggest deal to not put it on the forest, but I would have been inclined to, put it on the abundant growth here.
So you'd put the abundant growth on the abundant growth?
I'd put the abundant growth on the forest. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, no problem. So we're probably going to see a free lightning bolt here. That's a great lightning bolt. And now big draw step for Risen Reef.
Oh, brutal.
Oof. All right. It's going to be a huge draw step here for Magic of player one to be able to, continue to play Magic. Unless Tuscanani's hand is not great. If he buys Giganta, I'll say, you know what, he's probably got another turn. But
yeah. Oh, Shredder into a Thoughtseize. Now, this Thoughtseize has a lot of good targets.
Yeah, and right now, what it has is Tuscanani crossing fingers to not have one of those 3 veils.
Yeah.
So that's brutal.
Yeah, I would take that as well. There's so many good cards. Leave them with the one they can't cast to kill my creature.
And
forest, so it has to be Reef. And if that was the other way, you would have been able to Teferi and bounce.
Yeah, punished. Absolutely. And it's not even the Teferi. It's the Omnath too. Yeah. You're punished for the Omnath too. Like that is a huge punishing play on turn 2 there. And yeah, do you pitch the Fury? I think you maybe think about it.
Because you can't cast the Omnath anyway. Pitch the Fury. They'll get a loot, but you'll get a card.
You'll get a card. Maybe you'll get an ability to at least cast Teferi and ramp. The one thing you got to be doing with these elemental decks, the one thing I always put the highest agency on is make your land drops. Obviously, it's not always possible, but, when it is. Okay, just says go. 4 cards in hand from our Grixis Death Shadow player, and there is the All-Star here. Relic is insane. If that gets cast, I think you just have to snap drown that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, your drown is obsolete.
That's true.
Yeah. Drown's just countered. We'll see if Tuscanani agrees, but
yeah, they do.
Snap that on. Relic is... I don't even want to say it on this broadcast how good it is because I don't want to be playing against Relic when I'm playing Shadow after this, So
it's not good. I don't
know
why
bad.
they brought brought it in.
Can you
brought it
believe?
in?
Can you believe they brought that in? That's
Yeah,
specifically for Dredge.
That is absurd.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Unholy Heat.
Crocs it to the yard. That would be the blade. Crocs it to the yard. Fetch land. Give it to him. Oh,
Whoa,
well,
those
all
two
right.
cards. All right, we're done.
Yeah, we can come back to the
done.
booth.
Yeah,
This
game
game's
is
over.
What is in a hand? Is it 3 expressive iterations?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? I mean, here
Yeah,
goes
it
one.
absolutely has to be 3 expressive iterations.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know what it could be besides that. God, we are really going to yell at Tuscanani for not giving us the hand cam here because
that would have been hilarious to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it absolutely just has to be 3
I think it has to be, yeah. So we see that first spell being cast. The next one gets shredded. Gets the shredder going here if we have another spell to cast. But this also seems like a really nice turn, especially with a bobble. If you have a drown, leave that up in case there is a Teferi and, you know, attack for 4. Colligan's Command doing the best thing it does in this matchup. Get sent to the discard.
Look, it's not bad to have situational cards like that when you have a shredder in your deck.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here is...
So
that is
Shadow.
True.
I was thinking it was... Oh, it's not. So
Okay.
what was the card they kept? I guess it was a Thoughtseize or a DRC? I'm guessing Thoughtseize.
Yeah, because it was 3 cards, so they had iteration, something else. Thoughtseize would make sense.
Yeah.
So we see Thoughtseize here. There's only one card that can be cast naturally is Teferi. So you think Teferi, if they top deck a land, you don't want them to have that. Or you take Fury because it's their only free card. But Fury's a 2-for-1. Yeah, that's the one thing. Everyone's just like, oh, Solitude, all these free spells are so good against Death Shadow. No, you're 2-for-1 in yourself.
Little misstep though, in my opinion. I think you should have bobbled first, then Thoughtseized.
Yes, of course. You definitely look. You know, it's not going to change many things just because they need land to do anything. So if you see Teferi on top, I guess, yeah, you take Fury then. So yeah, nope, you're totally right. And now it's a question, do you just Fury? Man, that decision that Magic Player One made so early on of not abandoning Growth the Forest has been the biggest, you know, Punisher case. There's only 2 Snow Forests, so there was only one other true way to punish. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, 2 Besages. So there was 3, you know, landmines in your deck. Yeah, if they brought him in.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. We'll see.
But yeah, that was big. That is completely game changing here because an Omnath could have hit the board right now.
Yep, absolutely. 100%. And with 1 card in hand, you know, if I know a Death Shadow deck, it's Expressive Iteration or it's a removal spell. An Unholy Heat, Terminate, Drown, or Expressive Iteration. You know, those would kind of make sense in this situation as something to just really push the advantage if Fury doesn't get cast here. So Yard's still at 16 life, so no reason to really get, you know, too scared, but you're getting close.
Yeah, you're getting very close.
And I mean, if you ever see a Croxa flipped over, like it's night time. So that was left on top. So that's something we want to see next turn for Tuscanani.
But the awkward thing is you can't cast another spell or you'll lose it.
We got 1 card down. Oh, yeah.
But it could be a spell that you just want to put a counter on too.
Yeah, it could be Croxa. Yeah. That'd be sweet. That would be sweet.
Yeah, all right. So they're gonna take a peek this time. Check out what's going on in Magic Player One's hand.
Yep. I think with the way they tap, this is a Regavan to dash, and it is that awkward pause.
Nope.
Like, do I want to do it? I think it's a Regavan though. They tap red-black. That's the only thing that you would tap red-black for in this situation because there's no creature to kill. So I bet it's a Regavan in their hand.
And they want the card on top.
It's a drowned on top. I bet their hand is drowned Regavan right now.
If we find out that is the hand, I am going to be so impressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Here we go. This could get drowned now.
Okay. I'll see myself up.
Well, maybe they're holding it. They're fine with the 2-for-1.
Could be. They were hoping for a drown. The Magic Player One was hoping, please, let me use this Veil. But definitely could be Expressive Iteration as well. That's a card that if you put on the bottom when you have 2 mana, you should slap yourself in the face. Card's too good.
It is way too good.
Now we could see Dash Regavan or start with an Expressive, if that were to be the case.
I do like the way you're logicking this out. We don't even need a hand cam.
I know. I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, tapping that black-red. They tapped it the same way here. And honestly, you can look at these kind of tells when you're playing against people. Yeah. You know, like what else are they going to tap for black-red there? you know, like maybe a Croc's Eye, I guess, but
Does Veil mean any player plays a black or blue card?
yeah, no, not really, not really. That is another Veil gone.
Well, this is one turn.
Yep, here we go. Big draw step. What's it gonna be? Steam Vents to
That's
play
enough.
Yorion.
And it's exactly puts you at 3, so you can.
Come on, drown it. Give me this sweet equity here.
Oh, you're right! You were right! Oh my god!
No, we don't need a hand cam here. I got this. I got
Masterfully
this.
played and masterfully hand cammed by Corey Baumeister. This game is over, and we're going to have Grixis Monkey Shredder Expressive Shadow Elf against Azorius Hammer.
Okay, did Lurrus actually get banned, or is this still the same two tier 1 decks?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Impressive stuff here from Tuscanani.
Oh.
You had that one game 1 fetch when you didn't have to do it, getting a little overzealous, but you know what? We didn't have a face cam or anything to see a reaction, but you can kind of tell, you know, they played tight. They kept with it, you know, and as far as, you know, our other player, Magic Player 1, some really bad draws game 2.
Yeah,
it just mulligans and then barely functional hands. But that is the one thing about elementals compared to color money piles. Iteration really smooths a lot of thing out. Otherwise, you're just kind of a clunky creature deck at times.
Oh, yeah.
When the gears are flowing, it's insane. They made that one questionable play of the Abundant Growth on the Triome that Max punished, and maybe the game would have been different there. It truly could have been. They got to not cast their spells instead of cast their spells. That's a problem.
Unbelievable.
That's a problem. So, all right, that is going to be it for our semifinals. Now we're going to take a short break. We're going to get these players set up.
We got to let Tuscanani to take a breather as well.
Exactly.
Get a little time to recalibrate, get ready for the finals.
Yeah, recalibrate his hand cam is what we're going to try to get that done as well, so we can get it ready for the finals. I don't know, though. I had fun with that. Maybe we should cut all the hand cams. Let's just play guess them.
I don't want to go back to that world.
That's fair. So we are going to not only be bringing you our finalists after this, but I personally have a preview card to be showing off at the next round for Double Masters too. So anybody looking for a nice card here, it's going to be coming up right after this. I'll give you a small hint. It's one of the cards that's in the whole top 8. Someone played this card, so it's got to be a good modern card, right?
Hashtag ad.
It's got to be, huh?
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag ad. Thanks, free previews for the Wizards. You know, you got it. So, all right, everyone, we're going to take our shelf a short 5-minute break, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of the Mana Trader series here in June. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mana Trader series. My name is Corey Baumeister. That's Brad Nelson.
What up?
This is the finals, and we are about to bring you the final match between Happy Sandwich and Tuscanani. You know, I think they get to play a little, you know, shoulders down Magic now. They're still playing for $1,000, which is a big deal, but they did lock up that spot. These are the two people that are going to be going from the tournament itself. 2 other players, which I don't know exactly who those players are, but qualify from the qualifier weekend as well. Those top finishers. So the people that go, you know, like the 11-0s, the just absurd,
like 19-1s.
Yeah, the flex on them type wins. They'll be joining it. So we send 4 people to that December tournament each month. We'll be doing that again in June. If you missed it a little bit earlier, we are going to be playing Vintage next month for July, and we'll be bringing you coverage again. We got the OG crew.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be picking up my Mana Trader account. I haven't been playing a lot of Magic the last couple months, but working on other things. But I'm going to play a little Vintage to make sure that I know my chops. So I might be streaming a little Vintage this next month.
Sweet. Okay, then I'm going to watch your stream and at least learn the baseline.
So we only know the same things.
Exactly.
Awesome, because that's the kind of coverage we're good at.
Yeah, so if you really want to kind of laugh at the Bash Bros next month, you know, we've already gotten a chat from our fearless leader, Jason, here over at Mana Traders, where I'm like, just so you know, dude, we're not good at Vintage. So and he's like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be
It'll be good.
We're going to have a lot of blasts.
People don't listen to you for advice. Let's just say that.
Exactly. It's for, you know, the charisma, you know, sure. But so we're going to be bringing you that finals. We're going to be taking a look at the deck list, all that fun stuff. But first, y'all probably want a new card, right? You know, a Double Masters, spoiled card that I got sent to thanks to Wizards. So thank you so much for that free preview card.
Thank you so
And
much,
it
Wizards.
is, drum roll, Seasoned Pyromancer coming to Double
What?
Masters. Look at this art. And now let's see this alternate art. This alternate art is something I must get my hands on. I must. Look at that. Come on. Come on. Now, the only thing I have to say about that alternate card is there's 3 cats. You know, there should be 2, you know? So,
I don't know why it should be 2 cats.
yeah. Okay. So this is the preview card here for Double Masters 2022. I hope you all enjoy it. Once again, thank you to Wizards. But it sounds like some players just didn't want to listen, and we already got that match coming. So we're just gonna jump right
they
on
already
in.
started?
Oh
They
yeah.
started without us?
We've lost control of the broadcast, Brad. We've lost complete control.
Never had it.
All right. So we're jumping in here, and it looks like we have Happy Sandwich that got to be on the play. Both players kept their opening hands.
What a weak start.
Yeah. Pretty weak start. Now let's see. I'm guessing that's a Colossus Hammer that is in that Happy Sandwich eyeball, but
please look at the eyeball. Oh, okay.
God,
all right.
okay.
I was preparing for the culture complete. Like
Yes.
I was doing the coverage thing where I start getting excited immediately, and I screwed it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
everyone.
hey, that's all good. That's all good. So we see the lightning bolt taking care of Stoneforge.
Oh, it was there.
Yeah, wow, plenty of them. Yeah,
right.
good kill. That culture complete would have did some work.
All right. So is this the turn where we just play the Pure Steel and get a card advantage, or we just do another Stoneforge?
Yeah, I think it's Pure Steel. Play Hammer. Oh God, that's tough.
So the reason that
I bet you play Hammer here though. Still,
that really says you have to play Thoughtseize next turn, but you're probably going to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if your opponent just played 2 Stoneforge Mystics and didn't get Cauldra.
Yeah,
and is getting redundant hammers.
Yeah, it gets the Shadow Sphere. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good because you play that, right? Like you don't care about blocking this, but all right. So plays a Hammer anyways. What do we know? All right, and once again, reminder everyone, this is the Mana Traders Modern event here in June, and this is the finals. These players have locked up that invite, and now they're just playing for cold, hard cash.
Yeah, $1,000 on the line. This Express Federation better be good, right? I don't know if they're needing the 3rd land or the piece of interaction.
Yep.
But there is 2 necessary pieces of interaction to interact with both Stoneforge for the Cauldron or the Pure Steel combo turn.
Yeah.
And now with that Express Federation, you can't deal with both.
Yeah, one of them's gonna hit. I don't know which one's worse. Like Death Shadow cannot beat a Cauldron complete. That card is messed up against it. Like, you know, there's really not too much you can be doing about it. So yeah, definitely advantage here early on to Happy Sandwich.
I mean, one of the things you got to say about Grixis, Monkey, Shredder, Expressive, Shadow, Elk, is that it has to deal with things. It has opportunities before the Cauldron comes down, right? As a set.
Yes. Plenty of them. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this Inquisition's not going to be able to take a Cauldron complete. It can take the Pure Steel Paladin, but yeah, bam. We're going to see it come down. And if a land is drawn, able to equip, I guess, no, you won't be able to play and equip the Shadow Spear. So it'll just be dealing its 5 damage, but.
Dang, just 5, huh? Yeah, huge advantage, though. Cauldron complete is just so tough. So tough to deal with.
Yeah, takes that Pure Steel Paladin, gets in for 3 forced damage. And yeah, you got to be pretty happy about just getting this whammy equipment down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gonna be a tough one to deal with. Cauldron is complete, and technically, you could queue up that Shadow Sphere. I wouldn't recommend it because you're not attacking, but there is some thought to not attacking because of Death Shadow in a normal scenario.
Yeah.
Cauldron complete goes right through Death Shadow, and it just doesn't care.
Yeah, it can do its job quite easily. All right, so
I mean, yeah, maybe the out to Cauldron is like a path, something from your opponent's deck.
But they don't have it, and they have private deck list. So this is just straight monkey business.
Yeah, they're straight monkeying around. But to be fair, Happy Sandwich is at 7. I mean, the Shadow Sphere is going to do some work. But if that's another DRC, okay. I mean, now this Cauldron completes attacking for 6 lifelink. So that's 6. You're attacking back for 9. You're not getting very far on this scenario. So it's still looking pretty good.
There's also a lot of top note that Marsh Flats isn't going to do it. So that eliminates a lot of potential. And yeah, you just attack.
Yeah, get in there.
for 13.
Or for 6.
Well,
To
6,
go
yeah,
up to
to go up
13.
to
Yep.
13, and now 9 plus bolt isn't it? And I believe there's only one bolt in the deck. You do
I
have
think
that
there
right.
was, yeah.
You do have that reg event. So literally, you would just need Fatal Push or Unholy Heat on Stoneforge, the reg event, and the one lightning bolt.
Is that it?
That is, yes, that is all that you need this
Oh.
turn to win the game, which would be very impressive.
That would be impressive, but yeah, probably not gonna happen.
Well, let's see. They're
Well, the one lightning bolt did already get cast,
okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
is it now impossible.
but like a shadow here to block would buy a turn. This tramples over for 5, so that's
There's
gonna be
nothing,
it.
right?
No,
Well, now
that's
now
pretty good.
travels for 15.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you blink and you miss this finals here, y'all, because these are 2 decks that just really go ham. Back in the day,
I prefer pastrami.
now they prefer sandwiches, So yeah, but back in the day, the Grixis Shadow deck got to be a lot more controlling. It's still going to be the controlling deck. We're looking at this cyborg guide, but with Luris, you got to just go like Luris, bring back E, Luris, bring back Dress Down, and you really got to control them. This matchup used to be great. Now I think it's a lot closer. It can be a lot trickier, but cards we're still going to see here, those Dress Downs, EEs look pretty good. Colligan's Commands look good. Alpine Moon, if you're not bringing it in against Urza Saga, I don't really know what you're bringing in.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
has to
love
come
the
in.
card, but that's 6 cards coming in. I I guess I want to take out. We're gonna be on the play, so Reg Event isn't bad. I take out a lot of hand disruption. In fact, I take out all of it, but I know that's not everybody's number one game plan. I just go all removal, all threats, and try to win that way. I'd probably take out the 5 hand disruption and 1 Croxa and bring in those 6 cards, but we'll see what they do.
No, we won't.
Yeah, touche. All right, that's a complete shocker.
What is the pithy needle for?
It's got to be EE.
And how many are there
I
again?
think there's 2, but I mean, it's just that good.
There's just one.
There's just 1. Yeah, that is a card. If my opponent plays that against me and I have the 1 EE, good job. But if I don't, it just feels really, really bad. So we'll see here.
Yeah, it doesn't do well with the threat versus answer.
Yeah.
Interactions against a one of.
But one card that does do well against Shadow is Esper Sentinel. That card is so annoying. I hate it so much when I'm playing Shadow.
Well, that's why Magic's great. As
Yeah.
long as people hate other cards that are played, the Wizards is doing their job.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But if everyone hates it.
Yeah.
All right, College Complete is in hand with that same strategy as the last game with 2 Stoneforge, saying you have to deal with both.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tricky one. All right, so Cauldron Complete being a very looming threat here.
This is just a very big turn, right? We need to dig for things. Is this going to be
Colgan's command
on
kill
the
both
2 creatures?
Kill both and let them draw a card. Not bad.
Yeah, I think that would set the stage. You give them a card, but you get a little bit more tempo. And they're going to elect not to and send a 1/1 into a 1/2. You know what? I have no idea what's going on. You are the hand expert. So what's going
on? My hand is forced here because I'm very shocked why that DRC would get in there. Yeah. Nope. No clue. Had to just been a misplay, right?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? If Tuscanani is going to make a mistake, after being 9-0 in this final round, that's not a bad place to do it.
They can get the curse. They can win all of it. I'm just trying to think of a card. I can't think of a card that interaction would be high value.
Nope. I think Tuscanani is also realizing that now after tapping mana and then kind of slowing down. But yeah, otherwise there's no, thing that deals 1 damage. There's no gut shot or something. And losing DRC here, especially if you have a Colligan's command, feels really bad.
Especially if there's a real chance with the DRC that you could have gotten to Delirium this turn with playing 2 spells main phase.
Beforehand, yeah.
Yeah, with that loot.
Exactly. Yeah, you play that first. Now you have a sorcery. You would have got to Surveil to find something as well.
right. With a bobble too, especially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's just delirium. Pretty
Yeah.
close. No, it actually just is. Yeah.
Well, but it wouldn't have been with the. They'd still have to discard something to create
True.
delirium
True. True.
if this
Yep.
was
Yep.
all
Yep.
main phase.
But yeah, Ledger Shredder is another card that is just so good at giving you delirium. You just get to selectively pick. Like it's not like, oh, I need to hit a surveil. It's like, no, I have it.
Yeah.
It's I have a creature in hand. I have two Regavans. Here you go.
Unholy Heat takes down the Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep, definitely just a oversight. Probably click the attack all instead of just attacking with Shredder or something. But yep. Oh well.
All right, we'll see. We're probably going to see another Stoneforge Mystic say, "I'm going to continue to do this until you don't have a removal spell and I have a
Yeah.
Culture Complete."
Exactly. Maybe a little bit of a flex from Tuscany. It's like, you know what? I've just won so many games. I'm gonna make it a little trickier on myself.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you a permanent one for
You
you.
know what? My deck is so good. You can take the first 2 turns.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so Pithy Needle is going to come down, which also triggers the Shredder. It seems like a low value, just giving them that trigger
Yeah.
just for Pithy Needle.
Yeah.
But the one engineer explosives is now shut down.
Yeah. Especially because explosive wasn't gonna be that explosive next turn. It's just no matter what, it's a 1-for-1 and probably wouldn't be cast. But might as well get it down. The card is just so good against Hammer.
All right, let's see what they can do with their turn. Another expressive iteration is not a bad start. Okay, just going to bolt it and pay for it.
Okay. Yeah, finally get that Esper Sentinel out of there. That card is far too annoying.
And then a Thoughtseize to just say, all right, Culture Complete, you are out of here.
I was gonna say, or is it? Because you get to play Stoneforge and search something and put something into play, but you don't have 2 Culture Complete. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't take Culture Complete, what do you just get to go Paladin and Hammer and Strap next turn?
No, because you only have 2 artifacts. I mean, I guess you
I
can
got
animate
3.
the
Yeah,
Nexus.
you animate the Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, this is an attack for 11, putting Shadow down to 1. Not bad.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, here it is. Get a card draw.
Oh, this Happy Sandwich might be eating $1,000 sandwich after this one.
Putting the Pithy Needle down, I'm going to take that back. Happy Sandwich, that was a good play because that's going to get to the actual Metalcraft.
Yep. Here's Urza's
nice
Saga.
land draw.
Yeah, best possible land if you're gonna get one. Here's
Boom.
11. Crunch. Now,
I mean, I just feel like this game's too far gone.
Yeah, probably. I honestly, the way it's not too far gone here is if you're like, okay, I'll take it, play like your basic swamp, play 2 shadows, and then have a piece of removal, and you get to, have 12/12s and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only lines where I see you coming back from this. Otherwise, you just don't beat this because you have to kill Paladin, to not re-equip. Then you have to have a Fatal Push only to kill Mystic, and you have to keep an eye on that Ink Moth that's going to kill you out of nowhere. And Urza Saga is going to find another piece and give you Construct. So there's just too much. There's just too much.
Yeah, the game has to end super soon. So it does have to be 2 Death Shadows and a piece of interaction.
Well, maybe a anticlimactic finals here after an insane tournament.
It's been a great tournament.
It has been a great tournament. It's been awesome watching Happy Sandwich win the winning in, top decking a Hammer to get into it. That was a really great moment to just be here. And then coming around and just, kind of steamrolling this whole top 8. Tuscanani just steamrolling the whole tournament and then looking like they're going to fall short a little bit, but just still an amazing tournament. They did the biggest feat of them all, winning the quarterfinals after UXO. I've never done that. I'm like 0-95 or so.
You have not. XO 95 Swisses.
Nice dagger and also true. Okay. I am.
It's not a dagger. No one's.
I was counting F and O.
Actually, okay. Then I have.
Yeah. We played our share of F and M's.
Oh, I played many.
Yep. All right. So now we're just kind of going through the motions here. Gonna see what we're gonna do. Colossus Hammer coming down. I mean, I think step 1 to not dying is there's got to be a Culligan's command, and that might not even be enough. But like if you go to equip to Paladin, in response, you K command Paladin, blow up the hammer. I guess but like,
Equipping the summoning stick is interesting. Probably just gonna re-equip then.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's a freebie.
hmm Yeah, I suppose because the paladin, if that
Oh, if
dies,
you catch
yeah,
them sleeping, I like that. If you
yeah,
catch them sleeping and just target the wrong thing with like a
yeah,
bolt,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, if you go to equip to another thing, they have
Oh,
to kill the paladin in response. So
yeah.
here comes.
Ooh, sending it all,
Yeah, I suppose that's perfectly fine,
and that's
and
it.
that's it. Wow.
Oh,
You blink, you blink, and you miss that one, bro. Hey, everybody,
yeah.
welcome back to the booth one last time, and yeah, that was the finals.
That
That
was the
was
finals. And you
a
know what? I'm
beating.
gonna say something. When you're in a world where a black, blue, and red deck is against a white deck in the finals of a modern tournament, give it to the white deck. I mean,
Yeah,
white doesn't win a lot of tournaments.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, white has the most broken cards already, though. Like it makes sense that mono white decks are going to. I couldn't
Look,
even say that
look,
with a
look.
straight
The
face.
only broken cards that exist are the colorless ones everyone has access to.
Yes, yes, yeah, the
Yeah.
sagas and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Otherwise, we're playing Colossus Hammer, 1 mana, equipped for 8, +10/+10. But,
Yeah.
of course, the deck is excellent, being able to, maneuver around your opponent's removal and just kind of have this resilient game plan that we really saw on display against Shadow here this last round.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just great. Played well all weekend. Takes it home.
Mhm.
Takes home the $3,000, and both are qualified. But we'll see both players in December
Yeah.
trying to get a bigger piece of it.
Yeah, it's going to be really sweet. We'll see both of those players in December for the final tournament, and we'll be seeing you in the qualifier rounds for next month, starting that second Wednesday of the month. If you want to get tested up and start practicing vintage, that's going to be the next format. We really like to play all the formats here at the Mana Traders series. Just really, let everyone try everything,
Yeah.
and that really shows off.
Support everyone that's using it. That's
Exactly.
trying different decks that plays throughout the year. For
Exactly.
sure.
This is a Magic Online celebration. I mean, everybody. I Magic Online is still like my favorite platform to play Magic on. It is, what we both grew up on playing all the time. Paper Magic is, of course, excellent as well. But you can't get as many games as you can on Magic
Oh
Online.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no. Here's the thing. Now that I'm no longer hashtag sponsored with the MPL,
yeah.
I also agree.
Yeah. 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 No kidding. No
Yeah,
kidding.
no, I've come back to Magic
Yeah.
Online and played for like 2 years because I was focused on
Mhm.
all my tournaments.
Yep.
And I came back and I'm like, I'm getting back into this. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this.
And honestly, that's
It's fast. You get
Yeah.
through matches like boom, 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 boom.
Magic Online is how we became the players we are. Us just sitting here like this playing Magic. That's 100% how we got to be okay at Magic. Like
Yes.
that is a straight fact. So huge shout out to Mana Traders for having this series. Huge shout out to Adrian behind the scenes for making all this stuff look pretty. Even those Death Shadow names, those were looking excellent all weekend. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to you for
Thank you,
joining
brother.
me.
Oh, big shout out to
Thanks,
you.
buddy. Thanks,
Oh,
buddy. We love doing this. And a big shout out to you watching at home. This show wouldn't be possible if you weren't out there watching, playing Magic, signing up for the Mana Trader series, and just, enjoying what we do. So we really appreciate it, everybody. We will see you next month on July 30th and 31st. And hopefully, we'll be seeing you in that tournament as well. So, all right, one last time for Adrian, Brad Nelson. I'm Corey Baumeister. We'll see you later.